Good evening, everybody. How are you? This is a surprise. I didn't know if anybody would be interested in watching YouTube on New Year's Eve, because I don't think too many people are like me. But maybe more of them are like me than I think. I do not like to go out New Year's Eve. I never have. And of course, when I was married, I got dragged to many New Year's Eve parties, and I just never enjoyed myself because I don't drink a lot. And I just, because I don't drink a lot, when everybody else gets drunk and loud and I don't, I'd rather not be around them. I'd rather be around somebody else. I find that a lot of people, when they drink too much, their personality changes into Jekyll and Hyde, and sometimes things are said that wouldn't be said in sobriety. And not that I have anything against drinking. I certainly drink occasionally like everybody else, but I always considered, and I know a lot of people have called New Year's Eve amateur night. A lot of crazy people on the roads, a lot of fireworks, a lot of people doing all kinds of things that I just as soon hide under the bed from. So I'm a bachelor too. So being as I'm going to be home alone, I said to myself, I think I'll just spend the evening making a video and editing it and doing all that stuff that I've been wanting to make. Arizona Drone Dude, how you doing? Thanks for coming in. Not a big crowd here, but I honestly don't expect too many. And if we do, that'd be great. And if somebody wants to come in to the panel and talk about all this, way I titled the video, the remote ID furor that the FAA has given us as a Christmas present this year, you're certainly more than welcome. But I was going to make a video tonight about my thoughts on the my thoughts on all of this stuff, not only what the FAA did, but even more the reaction to this by the drone community, and primarily the hobbyist side of the drone community, because the commercial side of the drone community is already dealing with this, and it's pretty well resigned themselves to the fact that if you're going to be a commercial drone operator, you're going to have to play nice in the airspace. Steve Carpenter, Happy New Year to you. Thanks for coming in. And again, anybody, I did send out some invitations, so if you want to come in and chat with me, there's only one caveat. That is that I'm going to express my opinion, and the first guy that tells me I'm wrong is gone, because this is my show and I'm entitled to my opinion. Now, I don't mind people who say I disagree. I don't mind people that say I have a different opinion. But what I really hate is when I express my opinion and somebody tells me that I'm just wrong. And that just kind of means that whoever it is thinks that they're right. And you can't have a discussion between two people who both are convinced that they're right. And that's how wars start. So, especially religious ones. So at any rate, I'd love to have some discussion and hear other people's opinions. But tonight, it's about my opinion. And I have Paul, Phantom Hodges Drone. How you doing, buddy? Yeah, let's have some fun. Well, I have consciously avoided watching the 50 videos that are out there on YouTube about the remote ID thing. I've seen the clickbait. I've seen the headlines. Anywhere from the end of the drone hobby as we know it, doom for the drone hobby, panic, fear, anger, like the 5 stages of grief. And I didn't want to hear other opinions yet. I've heard a few of them, but I really didn't want to hear other opinions because you know what they say about opinions and what they're like, and the fact that everybody has one. Yeah, well, Paul, have a drink for me too. I'm not going out. I'm a wallflower tonight, so enjoy the party. I'm sure that a lot of people are going to be out, and a lot of people are going to be busy. So enjoy the party. So I have my New Year's Eve drink, cup of coffee. And what I do, I'm not a drinker. You and me both, Paul, you and me both. And what I normally do on New Year's Eve, considering all my moron neighbors feel the urge to explode cherry bombs and fire rockets and make a ton of noise, and there's just no sleeping, is I celebrate New Year's out on my back porch with, you guessed it, a cigar, and usually watching something on TV. But who knows if this thing gets fired up? Maybe that's 5 hours from now. I doubt I could hang on that long, but we'll see. Lovely Lisa, Warrior Queen, how are you, my dear? Thanks for coming in, and Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you too. Got 8-9 people in here. I honestly expected to just sit here and be talking to myself. And as I started saying before, I thought I'd just make a video tonight. I made a bunch of notes about what I wanted to talk about on this. I actually read a good deal of at least the summary of the proposed rules, and tried to form my own opinions. Maybe right, maybe wrong. I know there are a couple of people that I've heard of that have purported to have read all of that ridiculous document, but a ton of that document is boilerplate that they just tack on to any kind of proposed rule that has to do with the FAA in general. And there's a summary in there that just kind of sums it up. And that's only about 30, 40 pages. And then I heard somebody say something about something on page 71 the other night on either Melstream or Lloyd. And, but I thought I'd read it, look it over. So I spent the morning this morning poring over this thing and trying to get an understanding of what they're going to do. And then I started making some notes and trying to look at it from a number of different points of view, because we all have a personal agenda. Every one of us does. And anytime anybody does anything that doesn't agree with our agenda, of course, we're up in arms. And the last thing we consider is the agendas or the rights of other people if they conflict with what we view as our rights and agendas. So I have a unique perspective, maybe not unique, but I look at this thing through, I think, maybe a couple of different prisms that the average young FPV drone ripper, Mr. Steel, Rotor Riot kind of guy may not look at it through. One is my age. And I know that there's a lot of you guys out there that are up there with me, and young kids, young people just don't get it. They think the older you get, the dumber you get. And I think it's the opposite. I think the older you get, the more you learn, and you never stop learning, and you gain some wisdom until you go senile. Then you're a child again. But let's just assume that I haven't reached that point maybe until next week. But this week I've still got all my marbles, and I think that I have a certain degree of wisdom, although I'm a hothead at times and don't suffer fools. But from my age, that gives me one perspective, because over the course of our life, I've seen tremendous changes in society and technology and everything, just in my lifetime. And I will stop right there in the middle of my telling you why I'm so qualified to tell you what to think, and welcome in my good friend, Mr. Steve Carpenter.
Good afternoon, Mitch. Thank you.
Steve, happy New Year to you, man. How you doing?
I am doing well. We've got quite a bit of time yet to go to the coast.
Yeah, it's a long time. Yeah, but I mean, I don't expect this thing to last till New Year's, because I figured a lot of people are going to be out and about. And I was telling the story that originally I was just going to make a video about what I wanted to talk about the remote ID stuff. And there's pluses to that. The plus is if you screw up, you can do take two. Nobody is going to argue with you. Oh my God, we have, hang on, Steve, you're not going to believe this, but we have a visitor from the future. We have a visitor from the year 2020 with us tonight.
I don't have the DeLorean here, but yeah.
How are you, future man?
I'm spectacular. How are you guys doing?
Oh, good, man. What a surprise. What a surprise. Good to see you, Greg. Happy New Year.
I saw your email as I was rolling over and thinking,
Well, I saw your little New Year's party earlier this morning.
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool having some neighbors and family and friends and so on. It was good.
Good.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. It was fun watching the fireworks.
Oh, I was annoyed. I was annoyed by the fireworks.
I have those same neighbors. I have those very same neighbors. We are just talking about it, Greg, that think it's fun to set off noisy, loud things that keep you up.
I have no problems with noisy, loud things, but it's the wrong time to be doing it in this country when half of our country is burning. You know?
Did they manage to do it safely when all the smoke settled?
This year they did. There was a previous year where some neighbours let off some fireworks and it landed on some grass down below along the river there, and that caught on fire and they had to get the fire brigade down. So, you know, just because you're doing it near water doesn't mean you can't do stupid stuff. Thankfully, that wasn't a problem this year, but, you know, the wind yesterday was gusting as high as 85 kilometres per hour. And they actually delayed our family fireworks, which are normally at 9 p.m. And they said the wind is too high. We can't have the fireworks. We're going to have to postpone it. And I was hoping they were just going to call it off because I think it was in bad taste. I mean, there are people dying in our country. Literally, there were 4 people who died overnight in the fires. Yeah. And yeah. Anyway, That's just me having a bit of a vent.
So, did you overdo it or did you behave yourself? In other words, did you have to sleep it off this morning or are you feeling pretty good today?
My wife is still in bed sleeping it off and it's 11:14.
Oh, wow. It's 11. Wow. It is late. It is late. So you've been in 2020 for almost half a day.
Yeah, of course.
We're still here in 2010. Well, you live like right on the international date line, don't you?
Yeah, there's very few things ahead of us. I mean, we're UTC plus 11 during summer. So, yeah, unless there's what is UTC plus 12? I don't know. I've never looked it up.
Well, wherever Greenwich is, it's clear on the opposite side of the world. So
yeah, pretty
you go
much.
Straight down from Greenwich, England, you're going to be wherever UTC 12 is. It's always fascinated me how you could, if you had a fast enough, like Superman, if you could fly around in reverse order fast enough, could you really go back in time?
No,
I don't think.
Well, Greg, what you could do is when Telstra ever decides to come out and dig up the manholes for your cable, you can just tell them to keep on digging, and when it comes on through, and see where they'll end up at.
See where they'll end up. I wonder if there must be a software program somewhere that will tell you what's exactly on the other side of the world from you, or else you could probably do it simply by just latitude and longitude.
Do some math with that, yeah.
Doing some math, yeah, with that, find out what's exactly on the other side. I know that.
So what are you guys doing for New Year's?
You're looking at it for me. What about you, Steve?
Joining family and friends. My cousin's having a small party, and some of his relatives are in from Guatemala. So we're celebrating there.
I'm just having a look, see who's in here. Hi. Steve Mack, Barry.
Steve Mack, hi. How you doing? So,
Ron Lockwood.
Yeah, I kind of figured this would happen. We'd start visiting, and I wouldn't be talking about remote ID, but it's a long stream, so I may have having to make that video anyway. Have either you? I know that Greg, this doesn't directly apply to you, but it certainly applies to the community, or a great deal of the community. So indirectly, we all get concerned about the laws in other countries. Have you read any of this yet?
I've read some stuff, but I guess the biggest challenge is that they're being stupid about it, as always, and not providing solutions that can be guaranteed to be depended upon. Right? If you just go and put aside personal views, at the end of the day, there will be at some point in the future remote ID for the majority of drones. For people who are flying FPV, I believe there should be an exemption for them, right, on the basis of the type of flying they do. But maybe the catch is, hey, if you're flying line of sight, you don't have to have it, and your altitude limit is blah. But if you've got remote ID, you can go beyond line of sight and your altitude limiter's some other number. That keeps everyone happy.
Actually, they actually went out of their way in this proposal to state the fact that in no way does remote ID eliminate any of the line of sight requirements.
It should. Now. Carrot and stick. Do the carrot and stick thing.
You think it should, but they've left themselves a lot of outs in this thing, especially on the 250 grand limit. They pretty much said, hey, we could change that if we see too many people are taking advantage of it, we could change.
But you know how they've done the cylinder? They've done the cylinder thing. So if you don't have remote ID, you can still fly. Only where we tell you can fly, right?
Well,
right.
What I was saying, Greg, is that I come at this from a lot of different perspectives that the average or most people don't. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that do. But number one, I'm old. I've been around and I've seen a lot of changes, and I've seen the world always panic about every single change that turns out to be virtually unnoticed when it happens. The second avenue that I come at this from is a commercial pilot of real aircraft, and having flown all my life in the airspace, subject to all the rules, laws, and regulations of the FAA, and always concerned about the stupidity of somebody else maybe killing me, because and I've had some close calls with other stupid pilots. I haven't had any close calls with drones or model airplanes, but
and the one recent
career, there was no drones.
And the one recent incident where a drone was believed to have been confirmed to have hit an aircraft, there were no fatalities or injuries.
Yeah,
so even if
at this point,
yeah,
I agree. It's a non-problem as far as drones go, but the way I wanted to come at this tonight was to talk about the future a little bit first, because it takes, and as you can see, we've got 5 years before the finality of this, and when it's final, it will nowhere resemble in any shape or form the proposal that they put out. Just like the budget of a government project never comes out anywhere near the projected costs when they started. Nothing that the government does ever happens the way they tell you it's going to happen and the way they plan it. And sometimes in reality, it actually gets better when it's finally finished, because not everybody that works in government are morons. We have there are a few smart people, and I think that the FAA, of all the government agencies that I've known about and have dealt with.
Sorry, I'm just looking for the non-morons.
Yeah. You have to look hard, man. You have to look hard. But I think there's more of them in the FAA. I think I'm going to give the FAA a compliment. I can tell you that virtually every individual that I've ever come in contact with in the FAA, and there's been a lot of them, has been great people, smart, top-notch. Most of them are aviation enthusiasts as well, which is why they picked that branch to go in. I've spent a lot of time sitting in control towers with controllers, watching them work. And I have a great respect for the FAA. Now that's the rank and file of the FAA. Now, when you get to the top of virtually any government organization and you start getting into the upper levels, you're getting into the politically motivated crowd, which is why we have all these problems with our FBI and CIA and Justice Department now. The rank and file of those organizations are generally dedicated people, but the upper echelons have political
But Mitch, can I challenge you for a minute? Can I challenge you? Put aside the politics. Let's work out what we can agree on. If you look into that future 5 years from now, there will be a need, assuming that the number of RPAS aircraft is going to increase, there will eventually be a need, if you're going to assume there's going to be any automation and stuff like that happening, for transponder position information, remote ID, whatever you want to call it. So do we agree that it's good overall, but there might be room for exemptions for some FPV stuff where it's sports stuff at different altitudes where you're going to avoid collisions because you're in a different place?
Absolutely, Greg. Absolutely, I agree. And this is why. If you see what I've got here, it says this is an article. It's Airbus. Okay.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Autonomous skies.
let me unpick.
Not only
Let me unpick for a little while because I've got to go in a short while and do some stuff. But let me just quickly unpick. So if we know it's going to happen, the only question is, how is it going to happen? And if you look at the how, the only reservation I've got is the technology needs to be such that you can't pretend to be someone else. That's my one and only big risk concern with it because, you know, I don't know if you know the guy Kevin Finisterre. Have you heard that name before?
No.
He's one of the guys that was one of the original OG hackers hacking DJI aircraft as part of the team that did all of that stuff. And he wrote a proof of concept piece of software that he puts on a Raspberry Pi, and it's got a little network device inside it. And he calls it a throwy, something you go and throw, chuck it near, let's say, if you were being really nasty, near the White House lawn. And it simulates the radio frequency information of a drone taking off, getting to a certain altitude, and if you were to watch it on Flight Radar 24 or something like that, drawing a picture of, shall we say, a phallic symbol. Okay? Right? And this is what happens right now with the technology that's been proposed, because you can spoof it. You can pretend to be someone else. And what's even funnier is you can actually list the pilot name of the one drawing that image as, and I won't mention names, the president of a country or the prime minister of a country. You can be anything you want to be. And they can't stop it.
They still, you know, I mean, it's like the emails you get. You can spoof emails, you can spoof anything, and you could probably, and that problem isn't unique to drones. You know that.
So if you know there's a problem, fix it before you start. Why not go and say, we're going to have...
How do you fix this problem, Greg? Okay. How do you fix this problem?
Very
For a
easily.
couple $100, I go on Amazon, I buy an ICON, ICON, handheld aircraft transceiver.
I've got one in the next room.
I go stand next to an airport, turn to the tower frequency, and completely disrupt air traffic.
Mm-hmm.
How do you stop that?
So
the good news is it doesn't happen too often. But how do you know what I mean? It doesn't happen too often. And
only by bad people not being smart enough to work out they can do it.
If we didn't have bad people in this world, we wouldn't need any of this crap.
Correct.
Yeah.
But let me answer the question. How do you prevent it, right? You're using old technology, right, where you can't prevent it. Now, do you continue to use the old technology when you, let's say you go from where you are, and let's equate it to the taxi market, right? You've got your old taxi meters and all of that kind of stuff, and you've got Uber saying they want to go and do something. Well, they're not going to use the old taxi meters to go and measure their fares. They're going to use the new technology, and that's progress. In the aviation industry, we don't necessarily want to retrofit every plane right now with digital radios, but that's happening in process over time as well. They're getting different types of communication equipment. I was watching a video the other day. They've even got a printer in the cockpit of some planes now printing out their flight information. But to the point, with drones, why wouldn't they say, hey, we're not going to make the same mistake that we made with ADS-B? Why wouldn't they say, let's not make that mistake? ADS-B can be spoofed.
Well, they did say that they're definitely not going to use ADS-B. I mean, they did make
but they're making the same mistakes that the ADS-B protocol is. You can go and, again, make a plane go and appear on a map and do pictures and all sorts of stuff. Why wouldn't you say, let's go and have the FAA or equivalent in every country get a certificate, a digital certificate, and it can issue user certificates to end users that they load up on their equipment that goes on their drone. in terms of your DJI and the large manufacturers like that, they could do that today in the existing technology and the existing software they've got there. For people who've got other types of aircraft that are non-DJI, it could be a bolt-on little box that you could have, like your little flight transponder or whatever. And again, if you do follow those rules, let the user go and do something else, something different beyond what they can do today. Maybe it's beyond visual line of sight, whatever it is. And if you don't do that, you can still fly, but you shouldn't restrict only in these authorized locations, but maybe you just restrict the altitude a little bit or something. I don't know. But that's my thought.
Well, there's a lot to it, Greg, and there's a lot of concerns to it. And the technology of how to accomplish it is certainly part of it, but it's a part of it that they're not really addressing because, in my opinion, the technology that's going to solve this problem probably doesn't exist yet. They're working on it, but I don't think they've decided the protocols, because the protocols that they use
they've been
aircraft, you know, the transponders and that kind of stuff are not going to solve the problem. In this,
but there have been RFCs and other documents put out, which are the current draft documents. Sure, it's not ratified and certified, but that's the closest that we've got at the moment. And also with the protocols that they're talking about, they're looking at wireless and Bluetooth, and they're looking at MAC addresses of those devices as being part of the primary authentication. We know we can spoof that. In terms of the data that's going to be in the data fields that they're talking about, we know that if you're not using any encryption, which is not part of any proposal that's currently being examined seriously, you know you can spoof it. So we're screwed.
Well, I think I agree with all the things that you said. I really do. I don't think we are at a point to make those decisions, because there are tons of other decisions that have to be made before. I personally look at the technology, and this is my opinion, as that the technology of this is going to be the simplest problem to solve, because the technology certainly exists. The military is using far more sophisticated communication technology in their communications now than we'll ever need. I wanted to talk not so much about the technology, because except in like a broad block of why I don't think we should worry tonight or worry immediately about our hobby going away. I don't think there's anywhere near a reason to panic yet. We're looking at 4.5, 5 years out at the soonest when this is mandated. Am I correct? 18 months of study. Then it's going to take them at least a year or two to draft it and get it finalized. And then from the time they say, okay, guys, this is the law, you got 3 years to comply. I may not even be alive at that point. You know, I may be old and dead by then.
Not your problem.
I think that one of the ways that we all have to look at it so we don't panic and don't overdo the doom and gloom part of it is the fact that we have to give, and I think you've done that too, Greg, we have to give the FAA the benefit of trying to anticipate the mayhem that our skies will be in 5 to 10 years. And it will be mayhem. And as coming from an aviation background, you know, I could fly from here to Chicago, very rarely even see an airplane in the air. I know they're out there, you know, I'd fly IFR most of the time, so I could, you know, have a flight plan. Everybody knew where I was, but they would call out traffic to me. Half the time I couldn't see them; they were off in the clouds or far away. But you never got the feeling of a really crowded sky. And they have the systems, and their systems were archaic through most of my flying career. there's some of them are still archaic. The fact that they still use paper strips in control towers to pass flights along and shuffle them around like dice on a domino board. But it is the most efficient way. But
so in summary, I think we all agree on the destination. The how is yet to be. It's a concern to me, the how. The only other question is the who and the where, and are there issues with that? The kind of the FPV kind of drones where they're not currently, they don't even have GPS, so it's not going to really matter so much.
Well, they can very simple. All of my FPV drones have GPS and GPS rescue now. That costs $15. Yeah, so that technology, and half of them have barometers, and with a postage, a quarter of a postage stamp size chip, in addition to the technology I already have, I could broadcast out over Wi-Fi or whatever protocol they decide to use for their drone to wherever communications. They have said that it's going to be either something like Wi-Fi or a short range type of unlicensed low power kind of protocol. I don't see there's going to be a big problem. And I think the industry will step up once they decide what it is that they want. That's the big problem right now. But I think,
so let me be the naysayer now. I'll give you the other side of the coin. Okay. Right? The things that people say are the reasons for it not to happen. I was watching something drone stuff this week, which is a really good tech kind of dive into some of these things. And XJet, you would have seen some of his videos, I'm sure. He's a
I know
big YouTuber.
XJet. I know him very well.
Yeah. And his view is, well, you're putting yourself on a government-owned hit list of people to go after when something happens. So that's problem number one, right? You have to put yourself on that list. And then you take that to the next level and you say, not only are you on the government's hit list, but when you can spoof and you can forge and falsify the information about what's happening. Mitch, if I wanted to go and stuff with you, very simple. I find out the details of who you are and your drone ID information from your aircraft. I can listen to it. I can then impersonate it. I can then go and launch a drone and pretend to be you if I didn't like you. Again, I go back to you've got to have something that is trustworthy. And in terms of the misuse of the data, that needs to be controlled as well. If they can do those kind of things, I think it'll be okay.
Well, our government can't even control the use of IRS data and CIA data and NSA data now. That stuff gets leaked to newspapers and is used for all kinds of nefarious things. So let's not ask too much of the human race in general here, Greg. You won't be you don't expect too much. You won't be too disappointed,
Yeah.
You remember the Jetsons, the TV show? You old enough to remember the Jetsons?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Imagine that's, and I tried to look at this from a number of different perspectives. Number one, I tried to look at it as, just to validate the fact that we are going to need something. You can't just keep giving more and more people aircraft that fly in the airspace and with no we do need regulation. I mean, I got to give them that. We have regulation when we drive our cars. If every idiot was out there street racing all over every street, we'd have a hell of a mess. We have a big enough mess now. In the skies, it's incredibly regulated. Boats, on the other hand, aren't regulated. You don't need a license. What was that?
The Jetsons.
The Jetsons. Cool, man.
I couldn't resist.
I know. No, that's all right. That's all right.
Greg his flying saucer over in Australia.
Yeah. Greg, when I had a big boat, I had it on the intercoastal waterway here. And that I didn't need, I'm talking about a boat that weighed 68,000 pounds. Okay. 53-foot boat.
What's that in metric? Sorry.
Give me a break. Like I said, weighed 68,000 pounds. And I'm not talking about British money. I'm talking about pounds. It had 2 huge diesels. And I mean, it was not big as far as boats go, but big enough to certainly take out a few docks if it got away from me. You know, I mean, and I didn't need any kind of license to operate that thing. Not a piece of paper, not a class, not a Coast Guard, like nothing. I any fool can go out if he's got enough money and buy himself a huge boat and go up there and wreak havoc with it.
And you can get a license with your Crispos and your breakfast cereals in the pack. You know, you don't need it really, but yeah.
Now, airplanes are a whole different story. Okay. In order for me to get the ratings that I have, and this was back in the around 1970 when the dollar was worth something, it was about $25,000, which would be about $250,000 today. And what I had to spend to get the ratings that I have: commercial, multi-engine, instrument, flight instructor, you know, all that. And years of work and tests and flying and spinning and engine out landings in a twin engine airplane, engine failures on take, all this practice to learn how to fly so that I could legally climb into my airplane, pick up my radio and say, Sanford Tower, this is Baron 18386, taxi for the active. You know, it took me that kind of time to get a license so that I could be up there in the airspace where other airplanes were flying around. And when I look at drones from a pilot's perspective. It was an exclusive club and a very expensive and a hard club for me to get into. And I don't want to be taken out, even though it hasn't happened, or it doesn't. It could. I knew a guy was killed by a bird strike. Okay. Killed by a bird strike, right through the windshield.
So let's go and get rid of all of the birds.
No, but you can't. You can't. But what I'm saying is that I don't mind. I look at it. I look at these regulations from a pilot's perspective, having been regulated by the FAA for 50 years. I've been flying. I've had my pilot's license over 50 years. Now I don't dislike the FAA. I have a healthy respect for them, and the services that were provided to me as a pilot were worth a fortune, to get me safely from one place to another.
True.
And I appreciate that. Now, I look at it also, since I know a lot of FAA guys, I look at it from the FAA's perspective, and they're tasked with keeping it safe and coming up with these regulations, and any major changes to these regulations can take a decade. So they're starting early on this one. This first thing, and that's the reason I really wanted to say to everybody, don't lose any sleep over it at this point, because what'll happen in 2 years from now won't resemble anything they put on paper today anyway. Make your comments, let them know what you think, although in most cases, the only comments they really care about are the comments of people that can donate the most money to the campaigns of the people who they listen to. It's unfortunately, they could give a crap about whether FPV pilots can fly in a Bando or not. They don't care. They just don't care. The governments don't work that way. The AMA, I've been an AMA member. My AMA number has 4 digits. That shows you how long I've been an AMA member.
And to your point, I've done all of the RPAS training, and over in Australia, it's many thousands of dollars to get the equivalent of your Part 107 or whatever. It's very expensive to get it over here. So I get that. The only challenge I would give you from Australia is, do I trust my equivalent of the FAA? Do I trust CASA? Have they got the best interests of RPAS pilots compared to general aviation in mind? And I'll give you two very carefully thought out examples. In Australia, we've had 2 incidents since I've been doing YouTubing where drones have been shot out of the sky. One was a LiDAR-equipped survey drone that was surveying power lines, and it was over the top of some power lines, and some redneck farmer thought, well, he's going and spying on me and I don't like it. Shot the thing down.
The farmer shot it down.
Yeah, farmer shot it down. The drone was worth just a measly $500,000 Australian. It's not your average little, right? Okay. And what did CASA do? Nothing. When you go and have a look on the equivalent of the NTSB database, we've got the ATSB. There was nothing. It was removed. Even though it was definitely reported to them, they didn't list it. There was no accident investigation. Even when there's a report that is found to not be true, they're meant to list it. Now, under Australian law,
haven't we, Steve? If I'm not mistaken, we've had people shoot drones down. And did the FAA get involved or not?
They probably didn't. But here's the challenge: under Australian law, it's an aircraft exactly the same as a 747. Under Australian law, if you shoot it down, it has the same penalty, and they don't give a shit about drone owners. They covered it up. They didn't want to go there. Now, once you can make a mistake and you can screw up, but there was a second incident, and this was a real estate photographer who was taking photographs of a house, and the next door neighbor was, shall we say, drug affected, and he shot it down. Now, the difference is, in that case, they actually know who the guy was. It was the neighbor of someone rather than some redneck in the middle of nowhere. So they went and locked him up and said firearms offences, state-level firearms offences. But the federal offence of shooting at an aircraft, it was not listed in the ATSB database. They made no investigation. They did absolutely nothing. So are they looking after our best interests as drone owners, or do they only give a shit about manned aviation? The narrative suits drones are bad. That's the narrative that the media likes. And by extension, our regulator in Australia follows that because they've got to keep in good with the politicians and the media. That's why I have some reservations trusting my regulator.
Well, here's the thing, and you're right, and with this addition to what you're saying, yes, right now, most drone use is equated to out of control hobbyists, because that's who you hear about. The drone was in the way, but airplane, you don't hear about. They don't report very much that the drone saved this guy's life or the drone got this medical equipment. That stuff doesn't. Good news doesn't make the news. Only bad news makes the news. But people are going to start, if they ever get it, and that's another thing that I really can't wait to see, the pitfalls when they start trying to deliver packages by drone. I think that's going to be the fun. That's going to be the fodder for more comedians and comedy routines than you can imagine, because I can just imagine. I mean, when the skies are teeming with these drones and they're dropping shit everywhere and delivering it to the wrong place and falling out of the sky, and it starts pouring rain on them, or a 60-mile-an-hour wind gust comes along and blows the thing on top of the guy's car. I mean, there are so many things that could go wrong.
I love Ken's comedy routine he did one day when he was talking about pharmacies delivering drugs, and the redneck with his gun out there. Oh, I want me some Xanax.
Yeah, exactly. And then people shooting them down. So I think, that so much of this new potential regulation is in anticipation of this huge quantity of drones delivering stuff. And I still have my doubts as to whether they're going to be able to pull that off in the next 10 to 20 years, because they have to have the airspace stuff decided before they can start turning these things loose. Especially, I read an interesting article where they talked about here all the reasons why that isn't going to work too well. And one of the reasons was the fact that the brunt of the deliveries or the customers that are going to benefit from this order it now, have it in 15-minute type stuff are in big cities and congested areas. They're not rural people. The ones that'll really benefit are the ones that live, a mile or two from the warehouse where the drone can just grab it and send it out. Well, around the big cities and congested areas are where all the airports are. So what this guy did,
and also where people are going to complain about the noise, because noise from drone delivery, that's why it tanked when they did their first trial over here. But I'm going to have to disappear at this point. I just thought I was only dropping in for 5 or 10 minutes, but it turned into a little bit more.
Enjoyed having you, Craig. Yeah. And it'd be interested to talk more about this. But the biggest thing I think to take away from this is we don't need to worry about it tonight. It's a long time before anything really has to be done with this type of regulation. And the FAA has a lot of homework to do before they start telling us what to do about this stuff. So with that,
I'll agree with you on that, and I'll leave my postfix that we've got to keep watching what they're doing, how they're doing, and holding them accountable to delivering something that makes sense and is not going to screw us over. Because we know government's never going to do something that'll screw us over.
No, of course not. Of course not. Well, it's because we're so nice. We give them our tax money that they appreciate it so much that they always take care of us.
Yeah. Okay, I got to bail. Right, thanks.
Thanks for coming.
See you. Bye.
Well, that was fun. That was pleasant.
Yeah.
Still here, Steve?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Oh, there you go. Okay. Couldn't hear you. Saw your lips moving.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah.
And I haven't watched, like you said, I haven't watched any of the videos out there. I downloaded the documents, and I'm going to go through myself, and I'm going to read it before I start looking at everybody else's comments and charades. And I'm going to take it upon myself to educate myself about it, and then come to my own conclusion before reading everybody else's comments.
Well, maybe, except mine, because that I'm smart and I know what I'm talking about. So you can listen to me. But the interesting thing is, if you do look at this thing, this is what it looks like.
Yeah.
I mean, it just goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on. And I mean, I haven't started yet. Yeah, I haven't even started yet. And interesting, they say the same thing 35 different times, but this is the document here. Right now, I'm about 10% through it, so you can see what this is about. But interestingly enough, there's a couple of key things in here that make it that really simplify it. And the basic thing is that they've got 3 different schemes that they think at this point will solve the problem. The problem about solving the problem is we haven't really identified a problem yet. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So right now, what they're solving is an anticipated problem of something like this, the world of the future. And we don't know what it's going to look like. There are, I pulled up a few of these things. Just here's another one here. The Airbus autonomous drone. These are companies. These are Boeing, Airbus. These are people that are investing a ton of money into autonomous aerial taxis. Mm-hmm. That's going to make our kind of drones and delivery drones look like mosquitoes, flying into a flock of eagles, we these things are going to have to be regulated and controlled by technology that we don't have yet, by a nationwide system of air traffic control that doesn't exist yet and is only now beginning to be contemplated. And here we are, we're hobbyists, and we do some commercial work. Here's more stuff, more companies. Everybody and their brother's doing this right now. There's even more of them, you know.
Well, don't forget Uber.
Yeah, all of them. Okay. And then I saw one the other day where the thing that you got a little pod has wheels that sit on the ground, and the drone flies down and lands into the wheels. The pod attaches to the wheels. The rotors disconnect and fly away, and then you drive off. Mm-hmm. So you have a fly and drive vehicle where you don't even have to get out of the stupid thing.
Yeah, a transformer.
This stuff, knowing how long it takes the government to approve anything, like a drug or anything that could screw with human, or if you've ever owned an airplane, dealing with the FAA when it comes to the maintenance and inspections of even a general aviation airplane, not to mention what the airlines, the compliance things that the airlines, my son-in-law is a jet mechanic. The paperwork and the logs and the ADs, airworthiness directives, and everything you have to conjure up schemes to control all that stuff is years and years and years in the making. And they're only now, I think, realizing that this future is coming, but I don't think this future is anywhere near as close as they all think. And I'll show you something very, very, very interesting here. Where was it? I had here. Look at this. Look at what it says. Can you read that?
Oh, yeah.
First prime air delivery. Look at the date. December 7th, 2016.
Yeah.
4 years ago. Back when Amazon did that 4 years ago, everybody said, oh, within a year, they're going to be a million Amazon drones flying. They're no closer now than they were back then, I think. What do you think, Steve?
Well, I think they are, because during that time, if I remember correctly, they actually did do it, and they've got up by where Russ lives in 51 drones. They've got that corridor up there that they've been testing on there. So they're making deliveries and they're testing it. So they have done it, but it's not going to be for the open general continental United States or throughout Europe and the rest of the world. That's going to be, like you're saying, that's going to be, I'll say 10 years.
At least. Yeah, we should live so long. I should live so long to where I can call and have a drone taxi come land in front of my house that I can get in and be whisked off to the airport somewhere. But think about this. The FAA now has to deal with these guys, with the Ubers, with the Airbuses. These are big money guys. They've got to deal with the demand, and these people are going to be demanding automated systems. A guy isn't going to climb into one of those deals and pick up a microphone and say, Dulles Tower, this is November 6572 Romeo. I'm at my house and direct to wherever, I'm ready to copy my flight plan. They're not going to do that. It's going to all be pilotless and autonomous.
Here's a good example for you about, here's another catch, and this has to do with general aviation being in the same predicament of autonomous drones or even for drone pilots. Here in California, we have what they call the Santa Ana wind conditions. And we just had it. So I'm driving up the 405 freeway right past John Wayne Airport, and guess what? the jets are taking off now 180 degrees the opposite direction because they're flying into the wind. Otherwise, they'd be taken off going out over the ocean. So here you have all these autonomous drones. How are you going to make up for a weather condition that's going to change where, okay, we're okay to fly through this? Well, guess what? Now you have the jets taking off and landing 180 degrees, meaning they're going to be coming in lower over the ocean and Newport Beach area where they have a sound ordinance right now, could take off because they have to take off, reach 1,000 feet, and they just cut those engines back. And you think you're going to almost fall out of the sky when you're up there because of the sound ordinance. Well, now there's no sound ordinance limit. And when they take off, they're flying over the top instead of landing of the 405 freeway and going out. There's a whole different altitude difference of when you've got a landing pattern versus a takeoff pattern. There's another good example of just how one isolated area in only one part of the country is going to have to be dependent on weather conditions.
Well, weather is a big factor in all of this stuff.
Yeah.
But one of the points Mel made a point here. I'm looking at the chat, and he said that all this stuff is going to take our airspace away from us entirely. And I don't know if in my opinion, I don't think that's going to happen. I do think that we're going to be making certain concessions, and I do think that when they finally settle, and at this point, it's only a guess as to how many years in the future this whole system will be in development and testing until it's operational. And up until that point, we're still only bound by the basic rules that we have today. And most of us don't obey them anyway, when you think about it. Most of us flying these things are going to pop the 400-foot ceiling. You're going to fly out of sight for a few minutes. We're going to, we don't do stupid things, but sometimes it's like driving. How many times do you go 5 over or 10 over the speed limit? Do you think, do you feel like you're breaking the law? Even the law knows that 10 over isn't breaking the law. Don't go 11 over. How many state troopers have told you that? Yeah. Just don't go, keep it under 10 over and you never have a problem. So yeah, we can bend these things a little bit because we are responsible. And, if we weren't responsible, we'd be out there in our cars crashing into crowds of people waiting at the bus stop. You have to rely on human beings being a little bit in control, because they do put us in cars and let us drive by this bus stop at 50 miles an hour with a crowd of people standing there, and we somehow manage not to run them over. Well, we're the same way with our drones. We have brains. I'm not going to agonize over it now. If I'm asked for input, I'll give them input, but I don't have any idea of how a system so complicated that it can autonomously handle all of the automated traffic moving people around, autonomously handle the thousands and thousands and thousands or tens of thousands of delivery drones that are supposed to be coming in the years to come. And the only thing we need to do with our little drones is figure out some way to stay out of their way, because they're not going to stay out of our way. You know what I mean? The system is not going to be set up just like the system right now isn't set up to divert a 747 around one of our drones. It's just not the way the world works. And the big guys and the money guys are going to get it. Now, I was talking about the perspectives that I come at this with, and the other one I said was that I'm a pilot, that I'm old, and I've been an RC pilot for 50 years, and I've watched the AMA and the FAA interactions, and the closest that we have to our interactions as drone users with the FAA and the government is through a community-based organization. And even then the FAA, kind of humors us. They humor us. The AMA was described by Joshua Bardwell the other day as a bunch of old men flying old-fashioned model airplanes around in a racetrack pattern at designated flying fields. And you know what? He's absolutely right, because my AMA club here in town here, when I go out to the flying field, and I may have seen the flying field in some of my videos, it's nothing but a bunch of old geezers out there flying little old, glow fuel powered models or electrics around in a racetrack pattern. Take off, go downwind, land, take off. And we have we have designated airspace. It's actually even on the air map. If you look at air map and go out to where my model airplane field is, there's a circle around it. It says special use airspace. And we do pretty much whatever we want. We don't worry about any 400-foot ceilings. We go, and then they came out and said, well, no, you have to keep it under 400 feet. Nobody does. Nobody cares. It's a model airplane field. There ain't an airplane in sight anywhere near there, and certainly no super highways of drones and autonomous taxis crisscrossing overhead.
Right.
And I have to think that when
remember El Toro Marine Corps Air Station here.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Over in the city of it's in the city of Irvine, is El Toro Marine Air Station there. That's where the AMA fields were. Two fields there gone completely. They shut them down.
Yeah, well, that's what's happening. But there's always places to have new airfields, and if the hobbyists want them, they can. And unfortunately, the drone community doesn't have the numbers that the RC community has. It doesn't have an organization like the AMA that has been around for a long time, dedicated to drone hobbyists, with clubs and charters and rules. And it's only been, even though I'm not completely convinced that the AMA is going to be able to do much in this, I can say that over the years they have effectively lobbied for this. Well, we have another visitor, and
well, that's true, but like here in California, because property is so expensive, and part of that area is what they designated as the Great Park, which is the El Toro Air Station, but they're just building everything around there. And two other clubs have no airfields. They have clubs, but no place to fly.
Well, unfortunately, that's been the problem.
Yeah. So the problem being is we're just being choked here by development. Is the boat coming in? Oh, all right.
Hi, Art.
Hey,
I treat Art like a very special person.
Yeah. Thank you. Hey, Steve, good to see you. Good to have you back, Steve. You've been gone for a while. Hope things are going okay for you.
Yeah, it is. It's ongoing with my mom, unfortunately, health conditions, and then it's extremely busy with work. It's just been nonstop. In fact, I even had to work Sunday.
Oh, boy. Oh, my.
Hey, did you guys notice that Carlos is in the chat back from the sky? Where the hell have you been?
Yeah, where the heck have you been, Carlos?
We thought you dropped off the face of the earth. And now I see the Australians, the hangovers are starting to wear off because they're all waking up. Mars is here. Peter's here. Hi, guys. Happy New Year, everybody. Drone shots. Jody, how you doing? So, no VMix tonight, huh, Art?
No.
So would you think this was a stupid idea to do a live stream on New Year's Eve? I got 22 people watching.
Hey, you're doing pretty good then.
Yeah, it's better than Thursday. And one of the now that I got all these people, I had to make an announcement anyways. I'm not going to be on this Thursday, which is another reason why I thought I would do it tonight. Yeah, I'm going over to visit my daughter. I didn't make it over during the holidays, and she's going to be home on Thursday, so I'm going to go over there, and I won't.
You won't what, man?
Time for it. I won't get back. I'm reading the chat. I can't read and talk at the same time. I'm old, you know. Listen, it's great to be old. You got an excuse for everything.
Hey, I'm a gimp. What's your problem?
Yeah, you know,
have a happy.
what was really funny is I saw the email come in, and then the notification came up, and I'm going, "What the hell day is it?"
Yeah.
I'm going, "It's Thursday."
It's New Year's, man. It's New Year's.
I missed New Year's Day.
Yeah, Jody said it exactly right. He said, "Give us something to do when we stay home on New Year's." You know.
Yeah. There you go. There you go.
Well, some of you guys, like Steve, you're going out, but a lot of us, everybody thinks that everybody goes out on New Year's, and that's just not true.
I don't anymore. It's just too crazy. I don't want to take chance on getting in a wreck or being the one causing the wreck. And plus I'm broke, and
Well, you know, don't let that stop you.
yeah.
Well, that's for me. I'll have a designated driver, and we're only going a half a mile on surface streets to get there. So it's from one home just to the other place across from where we live. So
Did I hear an advertisement that Uber will give you a ride home for free or something like that?
they did one year, I know, in the past.
Yeah.
They're doing it here. I heard an advertisement on the radio or TV day or two ago that said basically, don't drive drunk, call Uber. We'll get you home for free.
Smart.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Right. Hey, I do have some good news, bad news on the stolen drone.
Oh,
Yeah.
Good news, I got the guy's name.
yeah.
Bad news is he's a sex offender. And he hasn't registered.
Well, even worse than that, Art, is what the guy might be doing to the drone.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Or with the drone.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. You know, I would worry about that.
Talk about violating the warranty.
There you go. See, that's what happens when you're a professional comedian. You come up with stuff like that.
Now back for DJI Care.
Yeah, care refresh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The fly
Okay,
more package.
So what are you going to do now that you know who the guy is? You're going to just stay away from him because he's just a bad guy, or are you going to go after him?
Well, I'm still debating on whether I should go forward with the small claims, because probably won't get paid because he
No,
might,
you wouldn't get paid. That's one of the fallacies of suing people.
yeah.
Winning the lawsuit is actually the easiest part of the equation with most
Mhm.
people. Collecting
Yeah.
is generally the impossible part.
Yeah. And well, he'll be in the claim probably for
Yeah,
a while.
and you know, if he's a criminal, he doesn't care.
Yeah.
He's not going to care anyway. And
But-
if you sue somebody, pardon
Be
me,
on
Steve?
top for not registering, that will be a big offense.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
You've got
How
to
much is
register.
the drone worth? A couple $100, $300?
Let's see. Yeah, about 350.
You know, there's an old adage: if for anything less than $10,000, it doesn't pay to go to court.
Yeah.
It's just not worth it. You're going to lose most of the time. You're not going to, don't believe the guys you see on TV. You know, actually,
Yeah, so
I got my feelings hurt. And
dollars.
this guy got me $800 gazillion. Thank you.
Yeah.
If I ever need an attorney again, I'll call you.
Yeah.
Well, you know what they did here for just shoplifting in the state of California? Because, shoplifting used to be, up to like $500, and then you could go after the file. $4,950 they raise the amount to.
Oh, that's gonna
go after you, press charges against the person.
So let me ask you a question: is it on the rise now?
Well, look at what they did in New York with the new law that'll pass on January 1st. You can get busted for attempted murder. They will book you, check you in, give you a court date, and they're going to release you. And they have to give you the names of anybody who's going to testify against you before you're released now.
So you can go kill them. Yeah.
Pedophiles, attacks, minor attacks, all these different things. Take a look at that new law that's going to pass on January 1st.
Well, you guys in California, you're not beyond doing stupid shit either. How about the new laws in California about the contract labor, Uber drivers, who said that you're not allowed to have contract employees. So the screenwriters now that live in California can't get work anywhere outside of California. Because they're afraid that you have to hire them you can't just give them a job. You got to hire them as a full-time employee, get them on Social Security, withholding, all that other crap, and give them insurance. So nobody wants to hire these screenwriters in California because they're afraid that the state's going to sue them for money. So they're hiring, and I don't know. There's only one thing that all of these states that make all these stupid laws have in common. And since we're not discussing politics, we won't say it. We all know what it is, don't we, Steve?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mars, play 2 games of cards. How you doing, Mars? Dennis, Lovelady, how are you, my friend?
Hey, Dennis.
Happy New Year to you. And I see Jay Santiago's in here. He's famous now. Jay is famous because Mel, I think it was Jay Santiago that was out there with Mel.
Oh, okay.
Not Mel, Ken.
Ken, yeah.
I'm old. Anyway, out there with Ken on the boardwalk, and he and his wife were out there and became a star. So I'm honored to have star power in here. Steve Mack, who else? Hey, Roosevelt, how you doing, buddy?
Yeah.
Who else did I miss?
Ron Lockwood, welcome.
Yeah, Ron's here. And Carlos, man, I haven't seen you in months, man.
Peter Carroll.
I don't think Peter partied too hardy last night, although, looks are deceiving.
Peter's, I think, one of those sleepers.
You think?
Yeah. Peter's the one that you don't want to really get into a situation, because I'll tell you what, he just sits there so nonchalant, and then out of nowhere, he just comes busting out with all these crack up jokes that are just like, him and Rick Helber are both the same. They're these hidden, like, I don't want to say trolls, but a hidden person, like on a live stream. It was a birthday bash that they did for me on Claude's channel. And Rick's just sitting there nonchalant, just, this nice guy, and all of a sudden, boom, 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 going, what the hell just happened?
Peter's the captain of the one-liners, Ron says. Yeah. Stayed home with a bottle of red. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, this is one of the very few times we get to talk to people in the future.
Yep.
Yeah, it was kind of cool to have. It was cool to have Greg in here.
Yeah, I'm sorry I missed him.
Yeah, well, you can watch the replay.
Yeah.
Greg is a very, very technically savvy guy, I do disagree that I don't think we're even ready at this point to try to nail down the technology that's going to be used. They've got a lot of, I still think they have to integrate all of this stuff.
Mhm.
All this stuff. Are they going to, they have to first decide, I think, and again, I could be wrong because I haven't paid too much attention to it. Steve, I read through the thing, skimmed through it and got the gist of it.
Mhm.
What comes out in 5 years or 2 years is not going to resemble what they put in that piece of paper today. And that's the fact that they're calling for input. Can you imagine, like just by the comments on some of these videos that the guys are making, can you imagine the volumes of hate mail the FAA is going to get, and trying to sift through constructive suggestions and just moronic nonsense? How many employees do they have? They don't have. They're understaffed anyway. And they got a lot of work. They got a lot of work to do, and their work is very important to us.
Mhm.
Those of us that fly a lot.
All the registration fees we've been paying, they haven't hired at least one more person.
Yeah.
Yeah, the $5 registration fees. Yeah, that's a joke. And the $150 the $150 that we pay to get our 107s, most of that goes to the flight testing place anyway. The place that administers the test.
Yeah.
Well, here comes a man that you all know and love, and generally has an answer or two, and he guesses.
Ken Herron?
Ken had never come to a little pissant live stream like mine. Come on.
Someone from his neck of the woods.
Yes, closer to Ken Herron than me.
Oh, Jeff Sills?
No.
Starts with an M.
Starts with an M. His channel name starts with a 4. Come on.
Oh, geez, Art. Oh my God. Hey, Art.
Hey, Mel.
Right now, Donald Trump would say, "You're fired."
You're fired. Skies took my drone. Skies, how are you? In the chat.
And Mitch, you were just touching on part of a large part of the reason why I made that comment. Our airspace will be taken away from us. And that's because the FAA doesn't have the manpower to sift through all of our nonsense. And that's what it'll be referred to. Nonsense.
Of course.
And the money will win.
We're the noise.
That simple. Sure.
And one of the points, I made a bunch of points and I haven't gotten any. I actually have a whole friggin' outline here, stuff of points I wanted to make through this, but I knew that if I did this in a live stream, I'd never get to the second point because we'd get into a big discussion. But I had a whole series of points here, and one of them that I put in here. Now I have to find it. Here's the most important point. It said, I started off and I said, is it needed? Then the next major category is, will it happen? And the answer, of course, is yes. And can we really have any effect on the final rules as hobbyists? And the answer is probably not.
Probably not. And that's unfortunate.
And then it says here, it will happen. It will happen. What will be done? And then
the money will win. It always does.
Right. But here's what I put. This was one of the points that we need to focus on more than anything, I believe. And again, that everything I say basically comes with a disclaimer, and I'll play that for you now. That's not my disclaimer. Here it is.
I'm offer no purchase necessary. Offer valid at participating locations. Void where prohibited. No animals were harmed during the production of this soundboard. Subject to change without notice. Side effects include dry mouth, occasional pig snort or two, sore stomach, teary eyes, achy jaws, and whatever tingles well. Laughing heart.
Okay, my lawyer makes me say that before I voice an opinion. That way
I
I
like
can't.
the whatever tingles while laughing hard part.
Right. And no animals were harmed. That's so Spank doesn't. Nobody thinks that Spank the monkey is getting
Well, you forgot
abused. Okay.
gender fluid.
I forgot
Oh.
that. Well, this is not a recent enough sound effect to have gender fluid in it, but I need to find an updated one. But the point I'm trying to make is that what we need to focus on, and our only hope is to have some say in how they establish a huge network of exemption zones,
Right.
because there are room for exemption zones. And I'm not talking about 2 or 3 in every state. I'm talking about 1 every 1,000 yards, and that's something that I think we as hobbyists need to focus on. And we need to say, don't forget the exemption zones. Don't forget the little holes in all your nonsense between the aerial highways for all the autonomous vehicles that we can fly at least even up to 400 feet, because if they don't give us those exemption places, a park here, whatever, and there's enough of them that we might live close to them, then we are going to lose our airspace, and we're going to have to build FPV drones with no electronics in there and go out and break the law, because or the hobby's going to go away.
Yeah. Yep.
But I don't think we're going to have a chance to control very much. And Mel, are you an AMA member?
I am.
I don't believe the AMA is going to be able to have much effect.
I don't think they're big enough. They're not big enough to go up against all the big money.
The last 2 live simulcasts that went out regarding the hearings, which had to do with the California tort. Well, it started here in California, but it's for all across the United States. And the one for the U.S. Congress, nobody from the AMA was represented at any of the hearings.
No, they didn't even. I don't even think they invited them. I think that only the major drone alliance people, the big industry drone alliance people, got a seat at that table.
The
And
money.
in fact,
The money.
the FAA did away with the AMA's what was it, the 336 exemption or whatever they used to have.
Yep.
That I think they did away with that, and yet the AMA it never was drone friendly. They're not. I think they're drone hostile. I mean, most of the AMA fields, if I ever pull out a drone, they look at me like a pariah. That's worse than a helicopter as far as these guys are concerned.
Well, the AMA field that I fly at is actually quite the opposite.
You're lucky.
A lot of the guys fly electric airplanes, fixed wing. A couple of the guys fly drones. One of the guys, and he's actually a member, not only does he fly fixed wings there, but he flies racing quads there, FPV with goggles. And I'm talking 100-mile-an-hour drones. This guy ain't playing. He's good.
Wow.
Now,
They scare the hell out of the old farts that fly.
they're limited. The traffic pattern is take off, climb out, turn downwind, turn base, turn final, stay high if you're not going to land, come in and land if you're going to land. And that's all they get to do. That's all they do there. It's like you said earlier, fly in a rectangular circle.
Racetrack pattern. Where it's in NASCAR. Half those guys can't even make a right turn. They can only make left turns.
Yep. And the traffic pattern at this particular AMA field is left turns, coincidentally. But they do have.
When the wind changes, they can't. They have to fly behind them. They still can't make that opposite turn into the runway. Guys,
this field actually has 2 runways, and they're, believe it or not, they meet at the end and they're 90 degrees to each other. So that gets kind of interesting at times.
At my field, they have a dedicated helicopter area.
Mm-hmm.
Because back when some of the guys started flying the 3D helicopters, they were always in the way. And what's really in the way is the big 3D airplanes, the big gas-powered airplanes where they hover and do torque rolls and all that, right in the middle of the friggin' runway. They're
Right.
more annoying than drones, helicopters, or anything else. And fortunately, my
they
club,
dance on their tail. Those guys that
Yeah.
fly those things are very good.
oh, they're terrific pilots. Not only that, but they half of them have smoke on them, and they
Yeah.
pour out smoke, and pretty soon you can't see anywhere in the field. It's like being in the fog. But it's gonna be interesting.
Okay. I just want to sit there and wish everybody a happy New Year's. I've got to get going, and I want to thank you for having me on. I wish Mitch, Mel, Art, and everybody in the chat a very happy 2020. Be safe out there.
You too, Steve.
You too, buddy. We're staying
You know,
home tonight.
they used to say hindsight's 2020.
Yeah.
Personally, I'm looking forward to
Foresight 2020.
and Lloyd and I dubbed it 2020 2.0.
2.0, yeah. 2K 2.0, I think you said, didn't you?
2K 2.0, yeah.
Yeah. Happy New Year.
2020.
Happy New
Happy
Year.
New Year, buddy. Thanks for coming in, Steve.
And
Always
Thank
good
you.
to see you.
Mitch, let me say thank you for doing your stream tonight.
Really?
Well, sure, because it gives all us other people with no lives something to do.
Yeah.
Well, I thought maybe I was the only one, but I'll tell you what, this is one of the more popular streams I've ever had. So
Yeah, you've got
welcome
quite a
to the
house
first
full.
annual Old Guy New Year's Eve live stream.
There you go.
A tradition for
I was
1
thinking
year.
about doing one, but I worked 12 hours today
Oh boy.
with an hour and a quarter drive each way to get there and come back home. So
Yeah, you said that last night that you
Um,
have a long drive to work.
yeah, for this week it's training, and actually I rode all day yesterday with the guy. Today at about 10 he says, "You're driving this afternoon." I said, "Okay."
So, are you ready to share with us what kind of job you're doing?
He never got out of the truck. In fact, he took a nap at one point.
Are you driving?
Yeah.
I don't know what it is that you're doing.
It's for a waste management company.
Oh,
You know
okay.
the big roll-off dumpsters, the big open top roll-off dumpsters, the
Yeah.
20, 30, 40 yard dumpsters. Yeah, that's what I'm moving. Go to the job, get one, take it to the dump it, take it back to the job. You know,
Ah,
yeah.
You're not out there picking up the dumpsters and popping them into.
No, that's called front loader.
Okay.
This is roll-off, kind of like a rollback tow truck,
Oh, okay.
where you tilt the rails on the truck down and you winch the dumpster up on there, and then you set it down and haul it away, and then you dump it like a dump truck at the landfill.
Okay. Yeah, like when they do renovations on houses, they
All kinds of commercial locations have them, you know.
Right.
Yeah, so that's what it is.
okay.
But I'll be working local once I get started. In fact, Charlie, the guy that I'm riding with, he went into the boss is gone for the rest of the week, so he went into the second in command, and he says, "Mel's ready to go down there. I don't need to. He doesn't need to be training anymore." He said he rode with me yesterday, rode with me this morning. This afternoon, he did everything. He loaded, unloaded, dumped everything. Yeah, I never got out of the truck. And the guy said, "Negative. Got to have a full week of training no matter what." Kind of like a robot, you know.
Yeah.
But
Probably one of the rules by the state or some.
Nope. There's no rules for that. If I walk into a place that's got trucks and they're hiring drivers and I know how to do it, I can jump in the truck and go do it.
you don't need a commercial license.
Oh yeah. You got to have a CDL.
Oh, okay. All right, cool.
Oh, look, we got Kaz.
Oddly
This
enough,
is
it doesn't
Kaz in the
require
chat.
a hazmat.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's Mrs. Mars. You know Mars FPV? That's Mrs. Mars.
Drone shows 2020. Drone shot says
What's he putting
two
up?
links. Drone shows 2020 New Year show. Oh, drone shows.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm afraid that might be copyrighted stuff. What do you think, Mel?
Well, let me go look and see what it is.
Let's put 2 links up.
Oh yeah, this is the AT&T drones, where they fly 1,000 of them all at one time.
Yeah, but I don't think I can be rebroadcasting them.
Yeah.
But everybody can go
Well,
to the links. Wow, look at that. That's cool.
The beauty of it is, Mitch, is you're not monetized, so it doesn't matter.
Well, but I hopefully will be before too long.
True, but if anybody makes a copyright claim against you until you're monetized, that actually there's a theory going around. You know how the rumor is that YouTube's going to start cutting some channels that aren't making them any money.
I haven't seen that yet.
Well, it's floating around. Guess what
Yeah.
channels are going to cut? The channels that aren't monetized and making them any money yet. So the cure is put a copyrighted song in every one of your videos. Let the copyright owner collect the money. At least YouTube's making money off of your channel now.
Ooh,
You
interesting.
see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see the.
And you can't
you
get in any trouble for it, especially if you only play it for like 30 seconds or something under the Fair Use Act.
So you know what happened to me? I clicked the link to watch the video in the pop-out chat window, and of course,
Well, that's if
it
you're
took
using
over.
if you're
took
using
over
your PC. If you're
Yeah,
using
so
your
it took over the
PC, don't
chat,
click.
and I lost my pop-out chat window. So
Yep,
now I have
don't-
to reopen.
There's a cure for that. If you're using your PC with your mouse,
Yeah.
click with your mouse wheel. Push down with your mouse wheel and click that instead of your mouse button. And
Then what does it do? It opens a new window.
It'll open that link in a new window.
Oh, okay. Let's try that.
500
work.
drones for more.
Didn't work.
Well, it works with mine.
Okay. If I right click,
You can do
it says
right click.
open link in a new tab.
Sure, you can do that too.
Yeah. Okay, that worked. Yeah. I have to right click. My center mouse button didn't do any good.
Does your mouse
Another
button,
problem is I've got
center button not click?
it clicks, but it doesn't do that. I may have it set for something else.
Oh,
A long time ago, I probably dedicated it to do something that I forgot, and I never use it anymore. To click on the center button.
I leave mine set to default, which is click on a link and it opens in a new tab.
In a new window. Yeah, it worked if I right clicked it, but yeah, I've got 3 different browser windows open in like 5 different tabs. It's nuts. And then I went ahead, I've been using
The rules are much more strict when live. That is very true.
I don't want to. I doubt. Look, I'm not worried about them deleting my channel for any reason. If they think I'm not making them any money, to hell with them. I'll stop doing this. I'm not making me any money either.
Yeah.
But I'm 50 subs away from 1,000 now.
Oh, are you that close?
I have over 5,000 hours of watch time in the past year. So I am that close. Yeah.
You are that close. That's amazing.
Yep.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
I got the fact that I got the watch time is more amazing than the number of subs. But I do. I just checked it, and yes, Carlos said 947, and it's a slow climb up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't want to go on to one of these sub for sub channels to
Nope.
blast it up like that.
And
I just don't want to.
There's some lately that have turned into that, and it's a shame.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think it's bad to talk about the community and tell your viewers to support the people, and all that. But I think that these people that are so concerned, they're only concerned about sub count, and most of them don't even make any content. They want subs, and they have no content.
And have no idea that the sub count isn't the strong point in your channel.
Mhm.
It's the
It means
view.
nothing if you don't have the watch time.
Well, for monetization, you're right. But what really counts the most on your YouTube channel is the views on your videos. That's
Well, no doubt the views are important. Yeah.
the views are more important than your sub count. There's guys that's got, 1,500 subscribers, but they've got 90,000, 250,000, a million views. Those guys are making money on the views, not their sub count.
Yeah.
The sub count is the second concern, not the
I
first.
just hit 50,000. I just hit 50. I got my little certificate for 50,000 views.
Sweet.
Yeah. And your damn
I'm at.
antenna video, Mel, I'm going to unsubscribe to you one of these. If they keep recommending that video every time I look at my recommendations, there's Mel and his antenna.
That's
video.
amazing, isn't it?
15,000 plus views on that sucker.
Yeah, and I keep getting more.
Yeah, and they
I
keep
just wish that I
recommending
could have
it.
monetized it from the beginning. I'd be sitting with Ken Heron right now on the
Don't
beach.
you wish you could figure out what you did right? I told you I have one of those. That's at the Hero 7 vlogging rig build. I'm up to 23,000 views on that video, and it keeps coming in, and I don't know what the hell I did. I tried duplicating all the keywords. I don't know what I did, but it just keeps showing up, and people keep watching it. It's a year old now.
As of December 7th, I'm up to 75,000 views.
Wow.
Right now, today, January 1, it's showing 79,128 total views on my channel.
How long you been at? You've had what, a couple of years?
I got serious in it right before Christmas last year, probably middle of last year.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know when I know that when I created this email, is about the same time. So yeah, well, obviously, because that's when the YouTube channel gets created, is when you get created. This says July 9th, 2013.
Well, yeah, because you probably wanted to, in order to comment.
No,
don't you have to have a channel if you want to.
I changed the name of this channel. This channel started out as a channel for the email address started out as a email address for my World of Warcraft game account. Okay. When I changed it to 400 AGL, I got a hold of Google and had them swap my 400 AGL channel over to the new 400agl.net email address. They swapped it over for me. I told them I created this name, but I can't change the email address, and it doesn't match, and I'd like it to match. And now I have the email address on the website. So how do I get my 400agl YouTube channel moved to this email instead of that one? And so they moved it over for me.
Nice.
Oh.
Yeah.
I got screwed up on my last live stream. Somehow I got logged out. and remember, I don't know if you remember, but I couldn't post anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I finally did get logged back in, it was in some other account, and it showed up as Mitch instead of old guy.
Right.
And we got Timeless Truths in here. Hello, how are you? Somebody new. I figured it out. I didn't realize this. I have, like, Mel, you probably have it too. 5 different. Where'd Mel go? Mel's gone.
I'm here.
Oh, okay. I had like 5 different Gmail accounts. And I have a Gmail account that's oldguyandadrone@gmail.com. But my old guy in a drone channel is not under that email account. That email account came later. After I had the channel, I decided I needed it. So the old guy in a drone YouTube channel I had to log in as my normal Gmail address, which is what because you can create multiple channels under any email, and that's why I couldn't get logged back in.
Well, that's
I kept
all you got to
trying
do
to
is get with Google and tell them that you're about to make your opportunity to become a partner, and you want to move Old Guy in a Drone YouTube channel to Old Guy in a Drone Gmail account, and they'll move it.
Really? Oh, okay. I hate to screw it. I got it working, and I hate to touch anything. I'm afraid.
It's a pain in the
I'm
butt.
afraid to log out again. I might not log back in.
It's a pain in the butt, but
But that's just one of those little things was driving me nuts. And I'm sitting here doing a show, doing a live stream, trying to figure out how the hell.
that was last Thursday.
Yeah.
Did I get logged out? And then interestingly enough, it's the browsers. It's the browser login, because after I was all done, I said, what the hell was that all about? So I went to my other office, which is in my other bedroom next door. And I logged in, and that browser still had the right remembered. And everything went in perfectly. And that's how I figured out what the hell I needed to do, because I noticed that the Old Guy in a Drone was not logged in as oldguyinadrone@gmail.com.
Yeah.
But
That's all you got to do.
yeah. So I figured that out. And I got a new audio player.
Yeah.
Pardon me? I got a new audio play. Have you heard of Winamp?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I thought they had done away with Winamp years ago, but I decided.
I just don't think anybody uses it anymore.
Well, I'm using it now, and what happened was
Yeah, but you're old.
I'm old. Well, if you look at on my side monitor over here,
Yeah.
now I've got the voice meter potato over here, and underneath here in purple, I have the Winamp.
Yeah.
Which is nice, because the way I have been doing it is I have been using this cell phone in the middle. It wants me to update it. This cell phone in the middle here. See where I'm pointing?
Mm-hmm.
I was using that, and I fed the audio output of that into the Zoom mixer into this channel up top here, and just kept my theme music playing all the time on the cell phone. And when I turn this knob here,
Yeah.
I can bring it in. So it's always there. But then I said, why am I screwing around with that when I could just, now that I have this voice meter potato, I can, let me get over to that. Now that I have the voice meter potato over here, I can run Winamp through a virtual audio cable up here into its own little channel. See?
Yep. Yep.
And then I have a playlist, and if I turn the volume up, here it is. Now I can bring it in from within here and open up the library of all these different songs. So that's how I found the music so quick to bring you in, Art. Now that I have this new thing, it's really pretty cool. I click local library. I know the name of the songs. So I just go up here to search, and or just look down alphabetically and find the song. Here it is, and it plays. So that's the latest in the technical fun.
Right.
Mel, we got Mel's.
Yeah,
There we go. Let me make Mel big so we can see. Well, make you big. There you are.
I had to move the camera setup. I got it set up on a mic boom, and if you look to the right of my desk is a wall, so I can't go out of my desk to the right.
right.
So I have to leave stage left, but I can't have light stand and camera stand and all that stuff sitting there because that's my only way out from behind the desk. So it's on a mic boom that the stand is right up against the wall, and then I just swing the boom out on the mic, right, for the mic, and that's where the camera is. So I can still walk under it and walk through, but that makes it just a little bit easier.
Cool.
And then that's why you get
like,
it at my drone shelf too.
The maze that is my office,
Turn the blue light on, sir.
with all the stands for the green screen and the lights and everything. When I have the green screen down, it's a dance to get around all that stuff.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
what I figured out I do is I have the green screen hanging behind me in the middle of the room, and I can roll it up like a window shade almost.
Right.
So I'm not using it. I just fold it up over the top of the bar across the top, and then I can walk under it. It opens up the room because this is my combination studio and drone and airplane building room. You know,
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
I got the.
I have a similar setup. This is in the middle of the room, but I exit to my left here, and there's about a 3 foot wide gap where I get around. And
Well, why is it so wide? You're just a little bitty guy. You don't need 3 feet to get through.
Rojo Droner.
Where's the boom boom?
I don't have that. You know what? I don't have a rim shot sound effect. I that's the one. I really need it too.
You can download it.
Oh, I know, but I've got this set up now, and it's got like 800 sound effects on it. And
Hello, Dennis Lovely. You know what I wish? I wish I could get my vMix to go into StreamYard, and I haven't figured out what I'm doing wrong. Otherwise, I'd use vMix, and then I could have my sound effects and everything playing.
Have all your stuff. Well, that was funny. I could not get last night on Lloyd's show, my virtual cam on this computer, which I'm using right now,
Right.
from OBS, would not connect to vMix. And my sound made me sound like I was a chipmunk because I heard the replay. It sounded like a chipmunk, like Lloyd does when and one of the things is the mismatch was probably the fact that I'm running, I use like 48K audio, and he was probably looking for 44K, whatever. It just raised the pitch of my voice up, and it didn't sound. I'm surprised nobody said anything, but I did get
sounded.
That was crazy. I rebooted the computer twice. You know what I should have done in hindsight? In my office next door, I got a dual monitor Windows computer with just a webcam and nothing fancy. I should have gone in there and just gone into vMix, and it would have picked that up fine. It's just
it would have.
Damn it. Yeah. But no, not me. I gotta have all this fancy shit,
Well, sometimes they do say less is more.
Yep.
I know. It's look, Mel, you obviously get a kick out of it like I do.
Oh, sure.
Absolutely.
I don't care I don't care what the millennials say. He who dies with the most toys wins.
Yeah, I've been a contender in that race, but gave it up.
Dennis, lovely, up in the house. Happy New Year, Dennis.
Dennis was here.
And
Gerald Farms.
Gerald
Farms. Gerald Farms, how are you, man? Let's welcome. You haven't been here before. Thanks for coming. Let's give you a blue wrench so you fit right in.
Greg.
And there was one other one. Tinkersmiths. We didn't give you a wrench to make you feel welcome, so we will do that as well. Just don't do anything like
grab another cup of coffee real quick.
Okay, give me one too. Will you? Black.
Okay, straight up.
Just black.
All right.
No cream, no sugar. Why ruin a perfectly good cup of coffee?
Yeah, there you go.
Part of waking up is Folgers in your cup.
Oh, there we go. Hey, let's get Mitch to 1,000. Thank you. Thank you, Craig. Yeah. So how you doing there, Craig? Mad Kiwi still in the future. Art, we're still in the past.
Yeah.
But I'll be in the future before you, won't I?
Yeah.
Art, yeah. What are you in Mountain Time or
Yeah, I'm Mountain
Central?
Time.
Oh, I'll be in the future 2 years before you.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
You're moving out this way?
No, I'll be in the future before you. I'll be midnight here before you.
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be in tomorrow. I'll be in the new decade, and you'll still be in the old decade. Time for those last minute income tax decisions, Art.
Right. Well, you know what I do as soon as I get the W-2, that's when I get the TurboTax and I file my taxes.
Yeah. See, that's one of the reasons that I never really celebrated New Year. I mourned the New Year because that was the day that the income taxes turned over.
Yeah.
And, you know, tax time doesn't bother me now. It's easy now. But back when I was in business, it was a nightmare and very expensive. And I always had to write that big check. And God, I wish I had 1% back of the money I paid those people over my lifetime. Just 1%. I'd be very happy. But it is what it is. And interestingly enough, I paid a lot of taxes, but I didn't get any more from them than anybody else got. I couldn't go out. See, that's the thing. When somebody pays a ton of taxes in this world, they can't go out and tell you to move over on the road because they own more of it than you do.
Yeah.
They can try, but they're not gonna get away from it. So paying all those taxes.
Mitch, you got to pay your fair share, you rich little bastard.
Yeah, that's right, my fair share. How does 40+%?
Well, it should be 99%. You don't.
How's 41% of what you make not fair?
Not fair.
When the person who's complaining pays nothing.
Yeah.
or not only pays nothing, but takes from the till. Anyway, we're not going to talk politics tonight, Art.
Okay.
We'll save that for you. Hey, we got to get your Arts Place show on Sunday at 3:00. We got to get that going, man, because it's just usually it's like you, me, and Lloyd and one other person.
Carlos, yeah.
Carlos is back, man. Carlos, get your butt in here, man. Say hello to us. We haven't seen you in a long time. I don't know. You still in the FPV hobby? Carlos used to be a regular around here.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, boom, gone.
Well, I just wanted to make a point. Actually, the new decade doesn't start until 2021.
Yeah, that's legally it doesn't. But the way we count, it's like your birthday, you know.
Yeah,
you're not 1 year old until the end of the year.
60.
Yeah.
I was 1 year old in 1961.
Were you born in 1960?
Yep.
1960.
I will be 60 2 weeks from tomorrow.
Wow. You don't look a day over 59 and a half either.
Thank you.
Oh, man. I'm going to be 73.
Oh, 73.
Oh,
just
man.
Like McHale's Navy.
Yeah. I mean, it's not even real. It doesn't even feel real.
Yeah.
When I think about that, if I had stayed married to my first wife,
you probably would have aged a lot.
I don't know. The second one really put a few years on me. God, my first wife, let's see, I would be getting ready to celebrate, or have just celebrated in August, my 50th anniversary. It would have been.
Wow.
It was 50 years because my son just turned 49 in November.
Mm-hmm.
And we were married in August, a year and a couple months before my son was born. So if he is 49, then it would have been my 50th anniversary before his 49th birthday.
Right.
And, it's hard to imagine. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to even.
I know.
To even contemplate how many years went by and where they
folks,
went.
My folks made it to 55 years.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yep. And my dad passed away, and just
my mom,
2 weeks after their 55th anniversary passed away.
my mom died young. She was only 66 years old.
Right.
And my dad was 18 years older than my mom.
Wow.
And 18 years older and outlived her by 7 years.
Wow.
Yeah, that's something. Hey, we got a new visitor on New Year's Eve.
Woohoo!
And one of my proteges, one of my discoveries, who made his debut on my live stream way back when. Any guesses who this might be?
Lloyd Mendenhall.
No. Come on, you didn't do too well with Mel. Let's see if you can guess this one.
Let's see. Rick Halford.
He's got studios in his channel name.
Studios. Andrew.
No, Andrew doesn't know me. He knows who I am, I think. But
Sean Ides.
his last name.
Yeah, Mike Roach.
Hey, there he is.
Hey guys.
Hi, Mike. I'm having fun playing Stump Art tonight.
Art, this is your life. How's it going,
man? Happy New Year.
Yeah, happy New Year almost.
Yep.
And,
Almost,
to all the Australian guys, happy New Year already.
Yep. That's right.
Yeah. We had a visit from Greg.
Yeah,
Osby drone early, and a visit from the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. So, but I couldn't let I couldn't let Art be the only gimpy guy in here. I had
There
to
you go.
come in.
No, that's it's funny you said that, but I don't even notice that with it doesn't register
Right.
that there's anything different at all about either of you. Mike, everybody's
guys like
drinking
everyone else.
freaking coffee here except me. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to hit my be right back button and go get a cup of coffee, and you two guys carry the show.
Okay.
Mel's
back now too.
Well,
Mel's back too.
Here comes
I'm
trouble.
glad he decided to go get his own coffee, because I had to go to the creek, fetch the water, then grind the beans, and do all that.
Right.
And when I got mine made, I didn't have enough energy to make another cup. Hello, Mike.
Hey.
Well,
Happy New Year, brother.
Congratulations on the new job.
Oh, thank you. I'm finally gainfully employed again.
Yeah, cool.
I never thought that 30, almost 40 years behind the wheel, 35 years plus behind the wheel.
Yeah.
Probably, I'm sure, well over 3 million miles, probably close to 4. And not able to find a job other than driving. It's brutal. Nobody wants to hire a 60-year-old guy. It really sucks.
Yeah. Well, you landed a gig. That's good. And
well, I'm hoping it's going to be a good one. It's going to be long days, that's for sure. But that's all right.
Right. Wow. So tonight's the big night. It's funny. Mitch mentioned earlier about doing this New Year's Eve. I mean, it's somebody said it's kind of like for all of us people who have no lives.
That's what I said. Yeah, I said,
Right.
Mitch, I'm glad you did a show. It gives all of us with no life someplace to go.
Right. And I know Canadian Drone Hub is going on later on, but not till 10 o'clock. You know, I'm
Yeah.
not staying up till watch the ball drop or any of that stuff.
Oh, hell no, me neither. I
I'm
won't
going
make
to
it that
bed,
late.
you know?
Yeah, I won't make it that late.
Well, last year I
He's
ended
back.
up watching Fox New Year's, and they had Ken, the comedian. He's the doctor. He had his own sitcom that was on for a couple seasons. He's the Oriental guy, and
Right.
so he was on it, and it was like, it was interesting. It was different.
Yeah.
But it was raining like heck there. And there was 1 million people in Times Square in the rain. And I got to see Van Halen with David Lee Roth, and boy, does he look terrible.
One
That's right. I
second,
think I
1
saw
second,
it.
guys. 1 second, please.
Okay.
Rick Halber, I'm glad you're doing well after your procedure yesterday. I wish you nothing but the best in your recovery, my friend, and Happy New Year to you.
Ditto.
Thank you for being here tonight with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And then Dennis, remember what we were talking about a day or so ago? Call me tomorrow. I want to talk about that some more, if you don't mind.
All right.
Anything else, Mel?
Um,
Any other private messages you want to use my live stream for?
The
Oh, go ahead.
eagle
It's okay.
has left the nest.
if I come up with something, I'll let you know.
All right.
I don't
no
want to
problem.
trouble
No
you, you know.
problem. No, it's okay. It's okay. Hey, I was thinking when I went off to get my coffee, I had no plans for tonight. I said, and I, as I'm walking back in the studio here, I said, I can't think of anything else I'd rather be doing tonight.
This
This is great. And I want to thank you guys for all coming in.
On my way home, Sonari called me on the phone, and I said, I'll be there about 6:20. And she said, okay. She said, after work, I went to the store and I got eggs and sausage and, got you some stuff for lunches. And I was like, oh, you are so sweet. Thank you so much. And then she said, oh, and I stopped and got dinner too. I said, you did? She said, yeah, by the time you get here, you'll have a cold Big Mac and a cold fish sandwich.
Where did she go?
Same place. She got the 2 for $5 thing. So she
Oh.
got 2 Big Macs and 2 fish sandwiches, 2 for $5. And then
Is she working? Is she working tonight or?
she works tomorrow. She's
okay.
she's a server at Waffle House,
Oh.
and she starts at 6 a.m. So she'll be getting up about 3:30 in the morning.
Oh, so
She'll be-
there's not going to be any late night party in there
No,
either. Huh?
not here. No. I told her, I said, I'll be lucky if I can stay awake long enough to eat the sandwiches and go to bed. But thank you. That's very nice of you.
And
And
at
Well,
Waffle
I'll-
House with New Year's
here I
morning
am.
be a big business day.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
I
yeah.
would imagine.
Their store for Christmas Day was first in the tri-state region. It was first in this particular owner's territory. It was, their store was first in tri-state region, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, I think it is. And they were, I think she said 7th or 11th in revenue out of all Waffle Houses in the country.
Wow.
So yeah, they did between first and second shift. And so she went to work at 6 o'clock Christmas morning. She got off at 9:30 that night. And between the 2 shifts, first shift and second shift, that store did better than $11,000 in revenue.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's
That's
phenomenal.
not bad for a little. They don't have tremendous seating capacity in those Waffle Houses.
like what, 30, 40 people
30,
tops? Yeah.
30, 40 tops. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. 11,000 in a day.
Yeah.
So what's the key with that? Turnover? Get people
Yeah.
in and out?
Quick in and out. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And-
Plus, they're low ticket items. I mean, you know, they're not selling $20, $30 tickets. There's
Yeah.
$2, $3, $4, $5 tickets, eggs and bacon, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
Waffles.
I go in there for the breakfast that I have. I get a waffle. I get a couple eggs over medium with sausage patties, a bowl of grits, and my ticket's usually like $7.50, $8.50, $7 or $8. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, it's crazy. And Kiwi's talking about his mini machine gun banjo case that he's got now. Finally.
Oh man, Jared Elliott says, "What are your guys' thoughts on the FAA's proposal on remote ID? Where were you 2 hours ago, my friend?"
Yeah. Sorry, Jared. We've been there.
I
Done
think
that.
I think we've watched a replay on that one, Jared. I think we have
Here's our thoughts.
talked ourselves out on that.
It's unavoidable. It's coming. There's nothing we as drone pilots can do about it because we won't be able to be organized enough to do anything about it. And we don't have the greenbacks to do anything about it.
To lobby,
So
yeah.
the big
let's
money
hope
people
that-
are going to win, and we're going to lose our airspace. That's my prediction.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think
That's years
we'll
down
always
the
be able
road.
to find,
Years down the road.
years and years.
Yeah.
We'll find. There's always a way, and the industry. This is where I think that when the technology is defined, that will integrate in with all this other autonomous stuff.
Mm.
It's going to have to be up to the DJIs of the world and the manufacturers of all of the flight controllers and things.
If they want to stay in
chips will
business,
be-
yep.
the chips will be available and they'll be cheap. You look at a cell phone. You know, inside a cell phone, you have everything you need, if not more. Then you have the radio transmitters for the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, which is how the aircraft communications are going to work. You have
GPS
barometers.
locator. Yep.
You have IMUs. All that stuff can be thrown on a postage stamp size board in a tiny little module. And the way I look at it is, when you do get the technology, the way it should work is, so maybe it'll cost $50 or $100 or $200 even to get what electronics you need to put on your remote vehicle.
Right.
But all you'll need is one of them.
Yep.
And you'll be able to plug it into whatever drone you're flying and then click a switch, because you might have 20 different drones registration numbers or whatever ID number
Right.
that the drone has that needs to be transmitted, the unique identifier. So you say, okay, this is this drone. So let's click to that. You plug it in the drone and you're legal.
And you know what?
And-
It might even be simpler than that. It might be one, for example, a special set of ident numbers like a transponder puts out. And each pilot gets assigned a number. That way it doesn't matter what
they
drone
want
he's
to do it like
flying.
the drone.
It doesn't
Yeah,
matter what
they
drone
want-
you're flying. It doesn't matter.
You know,
It doesn't matter what drone you got in the air. What's going to matter is that you have a drone in the air. That's what they're going to be worried about. So
but
I
what
don't know.
I'm looking at is there is a chance, and Jared says so it'll probably suck for long range pilots. Well, long range pilots, we're already breaking the law, Jared. There's no way we can legally and fly these things 7, 8 miles, 10 miles away right now and do it under the current regulations, unless you got a spotter following it with a car who has a cell phone in his hand in constant contact with you. But I'll tell you what's coming, and the guys are already using it, and that is flying RC via 4G.
Yeah.
Have you seen any of those videos yet?
Oh yeah.
They put the 4G thing in the airplane, and it transmits not only the radio control transmitter signal, but the video back to the pilot as well. Theoretically,
via the cell towers.
Dustin Dunhill does this in Hawaii. As long as you've got a cell signal to your airplane, theoretically, if you had enough power, you could take off from Miami and land the son of a bitch in Los Angeles.
Yep.
If you had
And
enough power on board to
I tell
keep
you
flying.
what, in Alaska, I think at University of Alaska, and some of the pipeline work up there, they've already done it. They've already done it using
Well,
the
how
cell
long do you
technology.
How long do you think when 5G comes out, Mel, and virtually everything connects to 5G, everything under the sun is connected to 5G? How long is it going to be before our hobby and our industry starts using 5G to transmit all the signals to the aircraft and back to the controller, as opposed to trying to put antennas on your head and goggles?
Yeah.
And that's going to happen. That was one of the things that I actually have on my list of stuff to talk about tonight was the technology that's going to be coming along that will if we can integrate that stuff into their autonomous system and have it automatic, then in eventually, and this might be an optimistic of me to say, but this could open up a legal route for us to do all the things that we can't do legally now,
Right.
as long as we do it within their system, and they don't even know what that system is going to be yet, so we all have to wait. But I mean, how long am I going to live at my age, and how long am I going to be flying FPV drones? I think I'm probably good for the foreseeable future. What do you think?
Yep. I agree 100%.
Speaking of FPV, I gotta show you this.
Atlanta, Boise, Boston, Charlotte, Chicago, Dallas, Denver, Des Moines, Detroit, Grand Rapids, Greensboro, Hoboken, New Jersey, Hoboken, Houston, Indianapolis, Los Angeles, Memphis, Miami, Minneapolis, New York City, Omaha, Panama City, Phoenix, Providence, Salt Lake City, Sioux Falls, Spokane, St. Paul, and Washington, D.C. Currently 5G.
5G.
Coming soon.
Now I'm gonna
Cincinnati, Cleveland, Columbus, Little Rock, Kansas City, and San Diego.
put something on my head here, guys. And if you hear a little bit of an echo, it's because I took my headphones off and I'm listening through the speakers. So that'll go away when I'm finished.
Oh my God! Put a hat on. Put something on.
And I want you to tell me the first thing that comes to your mind in a movie reference. Okay.
Oh, I'm glad you
All right.
clarified that. Uh-oh. What do we got here?
The Fly.
Yeah.
Yep.
I can't see you, but what comes to mind with this thing?
The Fly.
Can you see?
Something
Can you
else.
see what
Ghostbusters.
That's the first one I thought of. Who are you going to call?
Yeah.
Or how about I am Borg? How about that? I
Yeah.
am Borg.
That's what I was trying to think of. The Borg.
Yeah.
That's the one that I thought of
Kyle.
when I put that thing on. Let me
You
turn the
will be
speaker off.
refrigerated.
Anyway, what I did on this,
Selected.
so you guys can see it, is this is where I 3D printed that faceplate
Yep.
and mounted the analog module
Yep.
into it.
Yep.
And I put the battery pack on the side. So this is it now.
Can
And
you
it's
actually see the analog video in those goggles?
better than any analog goggles I've ever seen. It's incredible. It's
Amazing.
incredible.
Fantastic.
And this is a new this is that new TBS Unify module that is like the that does the diversity reconstruct. Anyway,
I wish I had your time and money.
Yeah. What's the old
If
saying?
he'd
If I
have
had your
paid,
money,
paid
I'd
his fair
find it.
share, he wouldn't have it.
But this I'm telling you what, man, it is a little on the heavy side, but not too heavy. And the neat part about it is it's all there. I can use it for the digital flying or the analog. And in fact, I've been whooping around the house a lot because the weather sucked. Although tomorrow is supposed to be gorgeous. I'm going flying tomorrow. But anyway, that's I put that thing on and took a look at it, and I said, I am Borg. That's what it reminded me of. Crap sticking out all over the place.
Good night, EBR. Happy New Year. Thanks for stopping in.
Oh, hey, EBR. How you doing? Didn't even see you in here. Yeah, it is late. Happy New Year to you, man. You got.
No, we don't share the wealth.
Just share the wealth. He can have the time. Just share the wealth.
You want wealth shared? Go to New York City.
There you go.
Go to New England somewhere.
Right.
So,
I'm,
Mike, you
I'm,
do it
I'm
in
being
flying up there?
facetious. I'm being facetious. You want wealth shared? Find somebody rich and have them share their wealth with you.
Yeah, which isn't me. Which isn't me.
And
I'm
see if they'll do it voluntarily.
yeah, that's important.
Because that's the key.
Mike.
The true key to sharing the wealth is giving your money up voluntarily.
Mike, you done any flying up there, or is it too cold?
I actually did some flying a couple weeks ago. It was about 8 degrees outside. That's the coldest I've ever flown in. And, thankfully I stayed in my van, line of sight, but I stayed in my vehicle with the heat on, and the
Smart man.
stayed full power. I only went a few hundred feet away, and I did a video of a nice ice skating rink that we have in the center of downtown. It's kind of like a mini Rockefeller Center, and it's funny, the footprint of this ice skating rink took a block of a street called Erie Boulevard, and it's called that because it goes along where the Erie Canal used to go right through New York State, and when they closed the canal, they filled it in and called it Erie Boulevard. And then when they remodeled the square, they turned the ice rink into where they used to skate back in the 1800s. So it's kind of cool. And,
What'd they do with the water from the canal after they filled it in? Where'd the water go?
I guess they pumped it out, or let
The water still has to go somewhere, right?
Right. I just let it flow into Lake Ontario and Niagara River. I'm not sure how they did that. I'm sure it took a long time. Probably happened town by town. In fact, there's still areas right now, mile long stretches where there is actual Erie Canal left. Like when it's on
Flowing
and stuff.
Yeah,
but when you
that's
get
good.
in the cities and stuff, it's all filled in or used for recreational purposes, whatever. Yeah. But I did a pretty cool video down there. It was my first time ever shooting and editing a 4K video. And then it's amazing how much longer 4K takes to upload. Than 1080p.
Oh, yeah.
And
now, did you have any problem real time scrubbing on the 4K in your editor?
Not much at all. In fact, I did it on the iPad with using LumaFusion, and it handles the newer iPad, and it handled it just fine. Maybe a little skip here and there, but that all disappears after it's rendered.
Well, I have a pretty powerful computer, but even with Premiere Pro, I always just let it generate proxy files, and
that's the easy way.
That's the easy way, and you scrub in real time, no hesitation, no nothing, and
I still don't do
does
that.
all
I
by
should probably
itself.
do that.
Yeah, and then if you're when you're done, if you want, you can delete the proxy files. Although I leave them, I got enough disks to leave them on there if I ever want to re-edit something. But I have all my ingest settings set up that it automatically does all that, puts them in the right folders, and takes maybe 20 minutes. Art, you know what proxy files are?
I should.
They're falsies.
Files that are in proxy.
They're falsies.
Yeah, it's like somebody could vote for you. You give them.
There you go.
Nazi vote.
What it does is it actually takes and makes an identical file to the 4K file, but in a much lower resolution.
Right.
But frame count and timestamps are identical. So what happens is you basically, when you edit anything in these programs, you're not really affecting the file at all. You're basically creating a set of instructions that tells the renderer, okay, take this file, start at frame so-and-so, go to frame so-and-so, and do all these different operations to it, whatever it might be. Mel left.
We lost Mel.
And what happens when you're all done and you go to render, that same set of instructions areas, you're back. That same set of instructions, that you're created using the proxy files, does the same thing to the actual 4K file, uses the 4K file instead. Starts at frame so it's an identical edit, and yet you don't have the overhead of having to render that 4K file every time you slide your cursor along in the edit.
Yeah.
So
I didn't have much trouble though. You know, it was 4K 30, and it just scrubbed pretty much without a problem. You know, so I was happy as it was.
That's got a very powerful graphics processor in it, doesn't it? That new iPad.
Yeah, the 2018 iPad. There's the 812 Bionic chip or whatever. You know, it's always called something crazy, but those things have become pretty capable.
Yeah,
and
but even if you have an 8K file, the editing, if you use proxy files, is going to be the same.
Yep,
doesn't make any difference.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So.
And
I haven't even got a 4K TV yet.
Is ridiculous. Yeah, 8K is ridiculous. But anyway.
We all said that about 4K, and yet here we are.
Right. And I remember when I got my first 1080p TV, it took forever for any programming to come on TV, except for like 5 channels.
Yeah, that was 1080. Yeah, right.
Yeah, in true high def. So, and we still, except for streaming, we don't have any like cable or anything that's in 4K. Do we anywhere?
Don't ask me.
I don't know. I don't. I have the only 4K sources that I have are stuff that I actually have here at home. I can my Roku.
Right.
And pull 4K off of YouTube, and I can watch it on a 4K TV. And I'll tell you, I can really see that. Or sometimes, if I want to see what my drone footage looks like on the big 4K TV, I'll throw it on a USB stick and go and just plug it directly into the Roku box, and then I can watch the actual 4K on the big screen 4K TV. Once you get, like Mel says, once you get 10 feet away from the thing, you can't tell the difference whether it's 4K or HD.
I did that with my with my TV at home. I ran a HDMI cable direct out of the back of my PC into the back of my 55-inch.
Yeah.
It looked wonderful on 55-inch, but you couldn't tell if it was 1080 or
4K,
20K. I mean.
Mm-hmm.
You know where you tell.
The really cool thing was, here's the really cool thing about my TV, Mitch.
Do tell.
I've got a 55-inch. I want to say it's an LG. And it's a 3D TV.
That's what she said.
So yeah, boy, she said too. When I first got it, I went hunting for 3D movies to play. Right? Did it come with 4 sets of 3D glasses and all that? Couldn't find a 3D movie to be had. So I started asking store managers, where's all the 3D movies? You sell the 3D TV. I just spent $1,000 on this TV. Where's the movies? Well, they weren't selling, so we sent them back.
That really failed. That really failed.
Well, no, I'll tell you why it failed. I'll tell you why it failed. At least from my perspective for the TV that I own. Now I own I want to say it's an LG, I think it's a 1080 backlit LED super duper whatever cinema screen, which means you can look at it straight on or from a 15 or 30 or 45 or 75 degree angle and nothing changes. You don't lose any perspective.
Oh, cool.
The TV is a 3D TV. It actually has the processors in the TV. On the remote, I push the 3D button, determine the depth of 3D that I want, and I can watch Fox News, the Weather Channel, a DVD being piped into the TV. It doesn't matter. Any source that I pipe to the TV, I can watch it in 3D.
Oh, cool.
Now,
so it simulates 3D.
No. it's got dual processors in the TV set, and it processes left and right eye in the TV
Right,
set.
but it's still taking a non 3D signal and simulating.
It's
You're
I
seeing
don't know
it
that
in
it I don't know that it's simulating, because
yeah, because
I
a real 3. Go ahead.
real 3D is created in 2 channels, left and right.
Correct. Correct.
Okay. If you watch, you can make any. If you separate the electronic bits and bytes of a video of any kind, you can separate it to 2 channels, and it becomes 3D.
I have that on mine too, and it's different when you get a real 3. It's like a simulated surround. They can mimic it, but if you record in real surround sound with 6 different microphones, you actually got 6 unique channels of information.
6 unique channels of audio,
and
right?
the same thing with you need 2 cameras to get the 2 different points of view, where you don't have that in a non 3D, but they have come up with ways to actually simulate it.
Well, then I guess that's what it is. I don't know, but I'll tell you what.
It does it pretty good. It really does.
The movie Avatar is amazing in 3D. Okay.
Oh, that's
watching.
You're not kidding.
Watching your drone fly, your drone video in 3D. Talk about getting you know.
Well, you know, they have, Mel. They actually have, and I've seen. It's not common, but some guys have actually put 2 cameras on a drone, set about eye distance apart, and separate feeds to the right and left eye in the goggle, and you've got real
True
3D. That talk about inducing nausea. I would think that would really.
Hey, you know who would be great to see in 3D? Naomi Wu.
No, she's already in.
Leave it to you, Art. For those of you who don't know who Naomi Wu is, do you know who Naomi Wu is?
Art, I'm with you.
You know,
I
when you mentioned her last week, Art, or whenever it was, I thought I saw that chick, so I went and checked out her channel. Man, she leaves nothing to the imagination.
Oh, yeah.
No,
And the thing is, she's smart.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, I mean, I only watch her for the technical expertise.
Yeah, right, Mitch.
Yeah, that's like the guys that used to say they bought Playboy, but only for the articles.
Yeah.
Well, now
Remember,
I resemble that remark because I used to actually read the articles in Playboy.
Dennis asks, "Who is she?" Dennis Lovelady asks, "Who is she?"
Naomi Wu.
I'm gonna let you tell Dennis. Dennis may not.
I think Dennis would appreciate Naomi because she's from Shenzhen, China.
That's right.
Okay.
That's where she lives. And I'll tell you what, let's see, Naomi.
Yeah.
W.
Dennis, to put it in a family friendly way, let's just say she's a young Chinese lady who reviews and talks about technical stuff, dressed in a manner that might attract the attention of
13-year-olds and
young men and old men alike.
Us guys in our 50s, 60s, and 70s who stay home on New Year's Eve and get on live chats.
Dennis, if you remember the girl Hillary Klug that I told you about, the dancing fiddle player, you mentioned that she's easy on the eyes. Naomi's hard on the eyes.
But she only gets the views she gets because of her technical content. Don't you know?
Yes.
Yeah, that other stuff. Those thumbnails on her videos have nothing to do with the fact that she gets 37 million views.
It's her content's all right.
Which gives her a very unfair advantage over us old men, don't you think?
He knows who she is.
Yeah.
I like the one where she set up an apparatus.
That's the only one you talk about, Art.
And that's the one I went and watched right after he talked about it.
Yeah.
Where she had the light coming right through. I mean, she was
Yep.
doing a mammogram the whole time.
It's
Yep.
like, wow.
You
But
guys, there goes
the latest
there
one,
goes my live stream.
the latest one I watched was the facial recognition camera,
The what?
face recognition cameras. It's I think it was one of her later
Oh, right. She did something about
the other day.
She said something about don't panic about facial recognition and
Yeah.
all that.
Mhm.
Was she talking?
Jared Elliott says, "Oh, how the conversation has turned my oh my."
Kind
Yes,
of like
sir.
kind of
There we
like
go.
somebody will send you a picture of a gal in short shorts bent over in the back seat of a convertible Mustang, and they'll say, "Anybody notice the Mustang in the picture?" You know.
Yeah.
Well, you know, that brings up that whole clickbait topic.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
You think
You know,
people
I
use
gotta say,
clickbait on YouTube?
I don't think I've ever used. Now I've used a couple of topics and things like hacked, you know, or whatever, but
Mhm.
actual full throttle clickbait, I've never done it.
Yeah.
Never done it. Although
Well,
my MoFi router video does have some fool at the top of a 50-foot antenna tower hanging on like this with no safety connection to
now,
it. You
if it was a young lady in a bikini hanging up there on the top of it, you'd have
Yeah.
5 million views on that thing
Oh.
by now.
I'd be retired. Yeah.
I'm telling you. Mars asked me, "Hey, Mitch, have you seen a new drone, the V-copter?" Yeah, I've seen a few videos on that, Mars,
Yeah.
but the jury's still out, I think.
I'm actually in communication with them. I'm trying to get one to do a review on it.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I'm working on that. So everybody leave that alone. Y'all stay away from my V-copter now. Y'all don't be going there now.
It's like, to me,
Happy
from
New
what
Year,
I've
Mars.
seen, it looks like
I'll go
It
get
just
Mr.
adds a
Ken
lot of
Aaron, the
mechanical
old guy, and he'll come and he'll attack you if you be going after me products now.
I just think there's, with all the gearing they have to swivel those motors,
Yeah,
it just
phenomenal.
to me, too many gears.
You know how it
Time
is.
was- I just think that it
Too many
just
gadgets
adds,
to break.
Yeah.
it's something else to break, and it's got to be fast. And you know, when you send an electronic signal to a motor telling it to speed up or slow down, that's going to be faster than any mechanical motion. Yet they have that kind of, they have thrust vectoring on a lot of airplanes
Sure
now.
they do. Sure
That
they
have
do.
mechanical, these tilt rotor airplanes, and the Harrier jets, they all have mechanical
Yep.
things that have to react. So who knows? I don't see a need for it. You know, I mean, what's wrong with 4 motors?
After a few,
It's just cool. That's all.
after I eat a few beans, I do a little bit of thrust vectoring.
Yes. Hey, speaking of that, where's Lloyd tonight?
Yeah.
You know what? I have no idea. Should I call him?
Yeah, call him
sure.
to get Bud on here. We always coming on his show, for God's sake.
All right, let's see.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I got a text. Maybe it's from, no, that's from Dennis. Okay, Dennis. Awesome. Let's see. What did he say? Noted. Okay, perfect. Good deal, Dennis.
Yeah, our viewership has fallen off here. People are either getting tired of us or time to go out for New Year's.
Recent. Let's see here. Okay.
Maybe that's what I ought to do in one of my videos. Who is this Naomi Wu?
Hey, how you doing?
Though you'll be awake and I'll probably be asleep, I called to tell you Happy New Year.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. I almost texted you at 3 this morning. Is there you up yet?
Actually, I was. I got up at 3:00. So, by the way, just full disclaimer, your audio is live on Mitch, Old Guy with a Drone.
Oh man, I forgot he was having. Sorry, Mitch. I owe you another one.
He said, speaking of old people, where's Lloyd at? I said, I don't know. You want me to call him? He goes, yeah, call that son of a OB up and get him on this show. Where's he at? He had some choice words for you.
I did not.
That's twice I've done that. I saw that. I was actually laying there just watching TV and working on my midnight videos. So I apologize, Mitch, again.
No apology necessary.
So
He says no apology. He can't hear you.
I know he can't. I'm relying on you to translate, Mel.
I am. He said, yeah, Lloyd, he said, no apologies good enough. You better get your rotten butt in here. Except he used a few more superlatives.
I knew he was going to do that. That's the Mel translator.
how much longer is he going to be?
I'll be right back.
He's going to be on a while, I'm sure. I don't know how long you going to be on, Mitch.
I don't know if I had planned on going on for about a half an hour to talk about the remote ID, and here we are. It's been almost 3 hours now.
He
2 hours.
planned on 30 minutes, and he's at 2 hours and 30 minutes now. So,
Yeah, well, tell him to go to bed, not wait on me.
Tell him I said Happy New Year.
Mitch says Happy New Year.
Hey, you translated that correctly.
Everybody else is out
And Art says kiss his fat white butt.
there. Yeah, okay. Tell him Happy New Year anyways.
He heard you.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah, I got you on speakerphone, but I'm got my headset on, so they can't hear you, or you can't hear them.
Oh, I can't hear them.
Lucky me, that means I can translate it however I want.
And you have.
I think I've been down that road before. All right. Well, everybody have a Happy New Year, and I'll see you guys in the next decade.
We'll see you next year, Lloyd. We'll talk to you next year.
Okay. Talk to you.
Happy New Year to you and Miss Judy. We all love you very much.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. Same to all you guys, too. Happy NewAr to everybody. Thanks, Mel, for calling. I appreciate it.
All righty. Have a good night. It was Mitch's idea. I would have never thought of it.
Good on Mitch. Thank you, Mitch. You have a Happy New Year, and Art and everybody else in the stream there watching or listening or part of it. Have a Happy New Year, and stay home and stay safe.
Everybody in chat saying Happy New Year. Dennis and Mars and Kiwi and
Oh, man, a whole bunch is there tonight.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Happy New Year to all the people on the other side of the world. I've already heard from Greg twice today, so.
yeah. Greg was on here too. So all right.
Oh, was he? Okay. All right. Catch y'all later.
Have a good night.
All right. Good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Well,
Thanks, Mel. That was great. Yeah, good to hear from him. We can't go a whole day without hearing from Lloyd.
yeah, right. I know, huh?
Jared Elliott, thanks for coming in, buddy. And you two have a happy and safe new year, and we'll see you down the road, my friend. Take care.
I've got 71 notifications on Facebook.
Whoa.
Yeah. I don't have 71 friends on Facebook.
I didn't send you anything, Mel.
Oh, no, Art, your name's in that list.
Well, I'd probably send it to somebody else, and they're sharing it. But
I get those notifications, and it says so-and-so shared a link from so-and-so about so.
Look at that.
I don't know any of them. I don't know who any of them are.
There's 111 and 99. Look at that, 99 notifications.
Oh, boy.
One of them says Happy New Year. That's cool, and it's blinking all different colors.
Yeah, that's from Jeff. I don't know which Jeff it is. It could be Jeff Ellenberger.
That's
Jeff
Ellenberger.
That's Jeff
I
Ellenberger.
bounced around a little bit, but I know enough not to send any to Mel anymore. He kind of
No, just your notifications, Art.
Oh, okay.
It was crazy because somebody put out a video. I'd get that notification. Then they'd send me a text message with a link. Hey, I just put up a video. And then they'd send me a Facebook message with a link. Hey, I just put up a video. It's like, yo, I get it. Okay. No.
I get the same thing with comments. When you you comment on somebody's video.
Yeah.
and then they like your
I need
comment,
to quiet down. Sorry about here yelling
and they like your comment, and then you get a notification that so and so liked your comment. Then you get an email telling you that so and so liked your comment, and then if they reply, you get another notification and another email saying they replied to your comment.
Yep.
So then you like their reply, and they get 15 notifications that you liked their reply to your reply.
And then you get a reply notification that they thanked you about their reply for your reply to their reply.
They told two people and so on and so.
Yeah.
Where'd Mike Roche go?
Yeah, I don't know. But let's see if we get
He
a
didn't get any
combination of that lock. That
So we got fireworks. I hear people all around here shooting off crap. I don't know if you guys can hear through the microphone or not. But,
Victorian area, welcome. Happy New Year.
How you doing? Happy New Year, guys.
But you know what, Mitch? I've been up like 20 hours.
Well, go to bed.
Yeah, go to bed. Yeah,
go to bed. Wake up
why are
you
fixing? Just go to bed. Stop fixing things. It's already been fixed. Don't fudge with it. Just go to bed.
Are you working tomorrow, Mel?
No, I'm off tomorrow.
Oh, good.
There you go. Sleep in. Don't fix it.
Well,
it ain't broken.
But I got to work Thursday and Friday.
Are we stepping on? Am I stepping on Bill, or did I step on Bill, the drone reviewer tonight?
I never. Fat rat's ass.
It just hit me. It's Tuesday night. I'm so used to doing this on Thursday.
His show's over by now.
Yeah.
His 8,000 subscribers and 25 viewers. That's pretty amazing.
Talking about he gets a lot of views. I don't.
No. I mean on his live streams. 20, 25, 30, maybe 40. With 8,000 subscribers, I get 30 viewers and I got 1,200 subscribers.
He used to be, and I like Bill. I mean, I've never had bad dealings. I know you guys had some bad dealings with him, but he's the reason I'm on YouTube, and I can't say bad things about him. I don't watch much of his stuff because I know more than he does now. Basically, and.
Well,
not saying that in a bragging way, but I've taken directions in the technical side of this hobby.
Some people know what they're talking about, and some people talk about what other people are talking about that don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, but the point I was trying to make, and what I wanted to ask you was, he used to be a regular on with Bill Thomas and Ron Brown.
Yeah.
Did something happen there? He doesn't ever show up there anymore.
The only thing I can figure is they got divorced.
Maybe. Mike, you're back.
I'm back.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why he doesn't participate with them much anymore.
Yeah, I was surprised.
Brown still comes to his channel. Just Bill Thomas. Okay. The chain broke with Bill Thomas, and I don't know why. I don't know what that's about.
And I keep inviting. I like Bill.
I don't have a dog in that race.
I like Bill Thomas, Coast to Coast Drones. I keep inviting him.
Right, you're right.
Now and then I keep inviting him to come into my live streams, but somehow it never happens. But
with this whole YouTube thing, we're all basically mercenaries that look out for our own channels. Sure. But we make friends with each other and all that, and we're going to have disagreements here and there. Sometimes people might even get really mad at each other. But you got to bury the hatchet, with this stuff. And so I don't know what happened with those guys. I did kind of notice a little difference there with what you're talking about. Like they don't show up together anymore.
Right.
But, when in the end, if we're going to be adults, it's just YouTube. Even if we have an argument, after a while you cool off and you shake hands and forget about it,
Well, my only thing, I don't know if I want to discuss this on a live YouTube channel.
Yeah, we don't want to rehash all that crap.
Right.
I was just wondering. I was just curious as to.
No, I mean stuff that even happens today.
Because it's Tuesday night. It's Tuesday night, and that's his.
Mitch, my technological level. You have an idea of. You didn't really have to cough that hard, did you?
Excuse me.
And
Wait a
now he's
minute.
doing it again.
Water went down the wrong bite, Mel, just as you
Oh,
said that.
Yeah, that's a likely good cover. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, Mel.
But I mean, you know that I don't talk about something that I don't know what I'm talking about. True?
I know that. Yes.
True. Exactly.
And if you don't know something, you admit it, and you know
That I do. That I do. But
and you have to.
for people that don't know what they're talking about to try to tell me that I don't know what I'm talking about on the same topic doesn't hold much water in my boat.
Well,
That is true. If you're going to get out there and claim to give advice, or especially when you get into technical stuff that could mean someone losing $1,000, $2,000 drone or whatever, you better know what you're talking about.
Well, you know, here's my other thing too, and this is nothing bad against Bill or any other drone reviewer channel out there, okay? So y'all don't take this to heart. But if you're going to call yourself a drone reviewer, then you need to get drones, fly them, and review them.
Mhm.
Right? Like once a month, twice a month, once a week.
oh yeah.
Not just the 5 that you've owned in your life or the 4 or the 10 that you've owned. If you're going to be a drone reviewer or a coffee cup reviewer or an ink pen reviewer, then by God, review freaking ink pens.
Well, there's
Right.
there's no shortage of them on this channel, and there's a lot of good ones.
Mhm.
Russ, 51 drones,
Russ is amazing. Russ was supposed to be on my stream last night.
and he's
He couldn't
new.
make it.
He's relatively new. He hasn't been at it much longer than we have.
Yeah.
And
But he-
what's his
we
name in
dedication,
Canada?
sorry,
Steve.
to, you know,
Steve, Captain Drone in Canada. He's a good one.
yep.
And he reviews a lot of drones. And yeah, you know, what happens is you review a lot of drones and these manufacturers all start sending you shit. You get Albert Kim,
Yeah.
terrific, especially for FPV stuff.
Yeah.
And drone camps.
RC, yeah.
what's-
Mhm.
Yeah. He does, you know, every 2 days he's reviewing a different drone. Now, there's a lot of guys that will say that these guys are biased because they have they you know they're all shilling for the drone companies, and they're all publishing the links, the affiliate links, and they're going to say they're going to likely trend positive because they
Well,
want to
sure.
sell. But
Well,
those
sure.
4 guys that I just mentioned, I don't think are like that. I think that because I've heard a lot of them badmouth some crap that they've got.
Well, you know, and that's the trouble is I'm like Ken Herron.
Yeah.
If something works, I'll tell you it works. If something is a piece of crap, I'll tell you it's a piece of crap. Now, I might
I
not
wonder-
trash it on my desk. I might pass it on to someone else so that they can tell you it's a piece of crap too. But,
Yeah, that
you know, Ken Herron likes to be an entertainer.
that was a tough review, man. That was a tough review when he beat that drone to death.
or that,
Oh, yeah.
or that controller he had plugged into his computer that was fouling up wire crash. And he
Oh,
grabbed it,
yeah.
and swung it around on the ground on the floor there until it was disintegrated.
Yeah.
He's a tough act, man. He's a tough act. I don't know if I'd want to send him anything I made to review. I would be a little hesitant about that.
No, just make sure it damn well works. Because if it don't, it's going to be in pieces.
Was I the only one? I watched Mel's live stream. Not Mel, you're Mel. I watched Ken's live stream recap that he put out today.
Yeah.
I just so happened I was sitting out on my porch. The phone went ding. I looked down at it, had no views, and I opened it up, and I was the second guy in chat. The first guy just typed some nonsense. So I mean, I was like one of the first people to see that video that he put up today. For some reason, the YouTube notification just was right there. And I watched that, and of course, he introduced Ron Brown, and Ron Brown was up there with his Skydio.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it appeared to me that in the video, in the live part of the video, the show that he did on Thursday,
Yeah.
that he wasn't all that impressed with the Skydio.
I don't think he was.
Well, they weren't using it for anything.
I was the only
Skydio
one that
supposed
got
to
that
do
impression.
anyway.
Yeah, he didn't like it.
It was like,
Ron-
what was the
quiet.
point of having the Skydio at the beach? You know?
Yeah, he didn't really. Now they didn't follow anything with it. He just flew it like a regular drone and put it up there, and then of course the controller wouldn't work right off the bat. He had to reconnect it.
Yeah,
But
I remember that.
Ken have a Sky. He has a Skydio coming, doesn't he?
I don't think he does.
No, I don't think so.
You all know that I canceled mine. Oh my God! Look who's here! I almost missed him, Lloyd.
Hey guys.
You're down below the fold, man.
Yeah, well, you know, that's where I belong.
Well, he had to.
Sorry about that. Hey, I gave up on you after that phone call.
See,
Yeah,
told
no,
you-
I decided
told you he
last
was
minute.
talking about- I told you he was talking about. See, he was giving up on you.
Yeah, I know.
And
That's
let
all
me tell you about Mel's translating
Yeah,
ability.
I know about Mills.
Don't ever let Mel
wait,
get
I mean to
between
go
you and the other guy when they can't hear you.
Yeah, no, I know. I know exactly how Mel does things. So let me get myself centered.
There you
There
There
we
you
go.
Okay.
Look at that. All right. That'll work.
You know, with this StreamYard, they give you 4 across in the green room, and then the 5th one is down below.
Right.
I didn't have that, and all of a sudden I see this little tiny edge of flashing lights now. I said, "What the hell is that?" It's the very top of your 2020.
Right. 2020. Yeah.
How long were you in there?
Just a
Okay.
minute or so. I just came
Oh,
in just to listen to you talk about somebody wasn't impressed with her Skydio or something. So
Yeah.
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 I canceled mine. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I canceled mine. I
Well-
decided not to I didn't need it.
Yeah, well, you know, I've always said the Skydio wasn't meant for, you know, unless we want to take pictures of ourselves, you know, on our little scooters going across the, you know, around the retirement center. You know, I just can't see that it really fits our lifestyle. But, you know, some of these young guys, like, Sean Oz. Yeah, Sean Oz. That's somebody
Oh,
that
Yeah.
he'd get a lot out of that one. But yeah. So
Well,
Yeah,
I
what-
was primarily going to fly it with the controller, and the thing that appealed to me was the how hard it would be to crash. I thought that doing some of the Mike Roche style stuff down low under trees, you know,
Yeah,
might be
right.
a little safer. Basically, you just push it all the way forward and aim it somewhat in the direction, and the drone will find its way through all that stuff.
Pretty
But then I
much.
said, "What the hell do I need that for? I'm not flying the ones that I got enough anyway."
well, that's me. If somebody gives me one, I'm not against taking it, but it's just not, you know, it's not something I saw a need for. It doesn't mean there's not a need for it out there for a lot of people, you know, because a lot of these guys that are getting it and the ones who did the testing on it, that's probably the only drone they'll have, you know, that they might,
Right.
they're not going to be using a,
They need
you know, because it really is. I mean,
motorcycle guys and exactly.
right.
They're not
the,
really droners to start with. They're
That's right, and that's all. That was always my argument, that you know they didn't give this to the drone heads to try out. They gave it to the motor heads and the guys like that to try out. The guys that would use it, you know.
That was probably a smart move on their part too.
Oh, I think it was genius marketing. I honestly do. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
All right, guys. You know what? I'm really gonna go, guys. It's 9:00, and
yeah. Well, I saw you were still on, Mel, so I thought, well, I better come on here so that you'll have the reason to get off and go to bed.
I knew if I staggered around for 3 or 4 more minutes that you'd show up. See, I just know how you are.
Yeah, Judy says finally. She said, "Why don't you just go in there and get on his show?" And I said, "All right." So
Yeah,
you
I
just
told
be in
you.
there all night.
I know better.
Well, Mel, I'm going to give you your own line right back at you here. You could have picked anywhere else to spend your New Year's Eve, and you spend it here. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Appreciate it. Nice to see you.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Appreciate
Dennis, Mars,
New Year, buddy.
Peter, everybody in chat, everybody.
Sweet dreams, Mel.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting the channel tonight with Mitch and everybody else. And it really means a lot that we have, you know, some good people come spend basically a really important holiday.
Yeah.
With all of us, Jody, everybody, Mike, Art, Mitch. Thank you very much, Lloyd. You know what I think of you.
Oh yeah, same back at you, buddy.
But he loves you anyway.
Yeah, I know. All right, you be safe. Are you off tomorrow or working tomorrow?
I'm off tomorrow, but I work Thursday and Friday.
Okay. All right. Well, catch you when I catch you, my friend.
Have a good evening, everybody. Happy New Year. Thank you.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, my friend.
Be tight.
So Lloyd, you know I'm not going to be on Thursday night. I'm doing it tonight instead.
Oh, you're not going to be on Thursday night? Okay.
I just thought you might want to, you know, mark your calendar.
Well, there you go. See, I had it all penciled
in,
in, and that's why I didn't see any point in coming on tonight. So I'm glad I came on.
I'm going over to see my daughter in Tampa, and I won't be home but just for the day. So, and it's about a 2.5-hour drive. So I doubt I'll be home in time to do it Thursday. And holiday week, I figure what the hell I'm not like it. I don't feel the need to.
I have not done a lot this week. I did the shows on the weekend in my show, and but for the most part, I've done my videos. I just uploaded them quickly. I didn't put a lot of work into them. I already had most of them recorded, so I just started. Okay, I'll put up 2 or 3 today, and that'll cover it through the middle of the week. And I've been doing that since before Christmas now. So I'm actually going to have to get busy next week and start. Although I got 2 videos going live tomorrow. One will go live at midnight. And the other one was my regular Grumpy Vlogger video. And he goes live at 6 in the morning because I didn't want to drop them right on top of each other.
Right.
But
cool.
You know what happened, Mel? Last night, I don't know why the hell I couldn't get my stuff to work with vMix because I'm using the same setup now. It works just fine.
I also just did an upgrade. So I don't know why it's not working, but I've been having problems with Zoom, and that's why I used
StreamYard?
Skype.
No, I didn't use Skype last night with that's the first time I tried it too. Greg is, he does his call in every Monday, and he says, why don't you just go plug your phone into and bring it into your computer that way? I said, well, I don't have that. He says, the dongle. I said, that's it. I don't have that. So, because it's an iPhone 10, and I had one somewhere. And actually, I had one that goes to Judy's iPhone 8, and I lost it. So, anyways, so I said, he said, well, let's do Skype. You can do Skype, right? I said, well, I don't know how. So in 20 minutes, we put that together. So now I've got a slot for him for when I decide to bring him in again. So, and that way I can bring in at least 1 or 2 extra. And I'm going to stick with this format for my.
I like that.
I'm going to get rid of this frou for all. I'll change it out to something, less annoying, maybe.
Well, yeah. But I never liked. I've never been a fan of the network newsroom look on these live streams, and that everybody, and who's responsible for that was Nay.
Yeah.
Because Nay helped all of these people out, and he kept designing and he did it for Mark at Centroid. He kept designing all these newsroom looking sets, and that kind of, I don't know if it got accepted as what your live stream should look like, but the idea of sitting behind a desk is what most of them look like. Yeah.
Well, and I actually, because that was part of the virtual set that came with vMix, that desk is one
okay.
that Mel actually made. I sent the virtual desk to him, and he added the 3 color lines on it to make them, flashing red, white, and blue. And then I had been using that, but then we started changing things around, and then they came up with all of that stuff, which I was grateful for, but I'm to the point where, it's like I discovered I'd saved all that stuff, and I did a video about it. That stuff, the way it's formatted is a .mov because it's QuickTime. That eats up your hard drive.
Oh yeah. Big
Oh my
file.
God, those files are huge, and so I had to offload them all because I only have a 1 terabyte on this, and I have a SSD, one of those new ones the guys were talking about.
Yeah.
NVMe. Anyways, I've got one of those, but it's only 256 gigs. It's just for operating the system.
That's your boot drive.
I didn't have, so I offloaded a bunch of that stuff, and I'd quit using it anyways. And I kept saving a bunch of stuff, and then I went from 400 gigabytes of space used up on my hard drive, and then as I started using that stuff and then saving it or modifying it a little bit, I had 400 megabytes was all I had left on my 1 terabyte hard drive. And Greg gave me it was something you use to basically it sort of looks like when you defrag your hard drive, the old Windows 98 and
with all the little squares.
Yeah, it does that, but it identifies what each one of these blocks are. And you can see I had this huge mass of purple blocks that were covering up my screen, that's all. And I clicked, I just rolled my mouse across it, and it told me what it was, and it was all of those .mov files. And so I happen to have I've got it from somewhere. It's one of those DJI, it's a 2 terabyte hard drive that you can plug your card into, and you plug it into a computer if you're out on the field, just offload everything. Well, I wasn't using it for anything, so I just plugged it in and started transferring files. It took me 6 hours to transfer all those files. But now I've got half my hard drive back. And when I set up this set for New Year's, I was like you. When you start looking at some of these news stations and stuff, my stuff was starting to look as generic as theirs. And I started looking at like your set, what you do, what Ken Heron does, and I still like the green screen effect. So like you do, but
Ken doesn't use any green screen.
No, he doesn't use any green screen, and that's cool. But I don't want to clean my office, so I got a green screen.
Yeah,
I need the monkey. The monkey is a green screen deal too. So I think the monkey would show up if I did away with some of the other things, but I don't think you'd see him if he wasn't standing in front of that
right
in front of that wall. Let me see here. Let me take the door out of here. There. Yeah, the monkey still shows up.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the monkey's got his own green, come to think of it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, does he? Yeah.
Yeah,
that's right. Some of those do.
I picked out a few different things, and I can make, without having too many different choices. I have these things, and I can actually change it as I go. So if I get rid of the disco lights, now I'm just sitting in front of the green screen.
Right.
So it's black, and I've got the old guy face up there in the corner. We get rid of him, and now I can put myself in front of my bunch of drones. So if I'm a technical kind of thing, talking about drones and building stuff, I can do that. I can put myself in the Middle East and Jerusalem if I want.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I can put myself in front of a brick wall. And that's sometimes a nice set, just to put up a brick wall behind you or a stone wall like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Or I can be in Miami. And the Miami thing, I actually just put behind the brick wall. So that's not a picture of the Miami waterfront. It's just, and then if I bring in my, let me get rid of that and bring in my, my wall again. That's the black in the center of the wall is a transparency.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I can put anything, any kind of video or still on. Whoa. I just heard a boom. It sounded like somebody ran into my house. Somebody just blew up a very big firework very close to here. Yeah, my floor shook. Holy mackerel.
Wow.
What, I got crazy neighbors? Sounded like my car exploded. At any rate, I can then just say, show me put my right monitor behind me. And then all that stuff just shows up, whatever the video is playing on that right monitor just shows up in the window. So that's all I have those choices. So anything I want to put up behind me, I can just use the monitor display over there too.
Right,
So
right.
that's all I do. So where was I? I had the old guy in the corner and I had the
Disco lights.
disco lights going. So the disco lights are here. And now I'm back in business.
It's funny. Speaking of that, Nave or Nav, however he pronounces that, he or she, I don't know who it is. I was in some other chat the other day. I think I was in the side chat, and they were talking about that person, and I just said, who is it? And they're like, oh, it's somebody who helps people set things up. And don't I get an email from Nave?
Oh, really?
Their services.
Oh, he I don't know why he offered the services to me too. I mean, what triggered that particular email? But I'm surprised. Something that whenever he gets mentioned or something, he Oh, look at you, Lloyd. Lloyd, you're tropical now.
Yeah, I'm on the beach.
I
just add a little.
Yeah.
Well, all I did was mention the guy, like, who the heck is Nav? And next thing you know, he's saying, I heard you were looking for me, kind of thing.
Yeah, he's actually, his name is, he took down his channel, but he was Interactive DNA. And
I've seen that before.
Yeah, and he got, I don't know, there's a lot of this, that, and another. I stay out of it now. I get into enough trouble on my own.
You have to give him a lot of control over what you do for him to help you out. And I certainly, I mean, for guys that, I consider myself a fairly tech savvy person. And if I can't figure it out myself, then I don't need to be doing it. That's the way I look at it.
And that's it. And he does like to, I was running a show before he came along, and I was muddling along pretty good and improving on it each week. And he offered to do all this. All I really wanted was just a little weather bug, or one of them news things down in the corner that spins around, and with my logo on it. That's all I wanted. And I now have one, but he really, really went big time, and he did a lot of good for a lot of people, but it was just more than I needed.
Yeah, he's Spike has gotten together with him, and he's done
a lot for Spike, but
doing a lot of stuff. Yeah, a lot of stuff.
But you and I are both.
I miss Spike's show. I was on every week when he did the StreamYards thing.
Right.
Now he's doing the Skype, but one at a time.
Yeah.
And I never seem to be. I mean, I watch his show and I chat, but there's never an opportunity to to go on, so I don't bother anymore.
Right,
Listen, last
right.
night when you were out there and I was sitting out on my porch smoking a cigar, and I was almost done with the cigar, and Mel said he was leaving. Man, I ran in the house, and you know how long it takes to fire up one of these systems?
Yeah.
Fire it up. You got to get the lights on, get the green screen
Right,
down,
right.
get all the crap opened up, get the mixers going. I mean, I'm pumping away because I'm coming on Lloyd's show. And then it didn't work. And
Yeah.
after I tried 3 times, after all that, it dawned on me after it was all over, I should have just walked into my other room where I have a dual monitor PC and a webcam going.
Yeah.
Like you've seen me on some of the live streams.
Right.
sitting in my office. Yeah. I could have just walked in there, man.
Yeah.
It would have worked. It
That
was
would
just
have
a
worked.
webcam and
Yeah.
a PC. Yeah.
Yeah.
At least
It
I
was-
could have come on, and my voice sounded like a chipmunk too. for
It was
some reason.
choppy.
I don't know
It
what
was
the hell
choppy.
that was about.
I don't either. I don't know what was going on, but but
It was crazy.
yeah. And this is the thing about live streams. Everybody does something different. Everybody's got their own little niche of things, and I don't think, let's see, am I using, actually I need to see, there was something else. I don't think I'm using anybody's stuff but just my stuff right now. And let's see, why is that not there? Okay, maybe I need to push. Let's see. Oh, that's a squirrel. That's mine.
That's your squirrel.
Yeah.
That's funny. You were talking about my monkey last night.
Yeah.
My monkey.
Your monkey.
And
Yeah.
He's not an
Yeah.
orangutan. He's not an orangutan.
What is it?
It's called a howler monkey.
Oh, a howler monkey.
And I kept trying to type howler monkey in the chat, and it kept wiping it out. It censored it. Evidently.
Really?
Google thinks howler monkey is maybe a racial slur, but I tried 3 times. I typed them in the, gets in the way all the time. And I go back in my corner, Spank. Anyway, I kept typing it in, and it kept disappearing as quick as I could. And then I said, well, so I typed something else in the chat, and it worked just fine. So I don't know why the hell that was, but you guys are calling it an orangutan.
Yeah, well,
it's more akin to a gorilla than
gorilla.
an
Yeah,
orangutan.
yeah. I wasn't sure what it, because I got to thinking it's not a baboon, it's not an orangutan. Orangutan looks completely different. And is there one called the gibbon?
Yeah, the gibbon is more like a baboon.
Yeah.
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 And that's kind of what I thought that might be. So
I found this thing, believe it or not, I found a site that had like 20 different monkeys in front of green screens, and they were all royalties. And this one was royalty free. Well, that's for me. And turns out it's become like my trademark, you know?
Yeah. Sort of
If I
like,
don't have the monkey there, if I turn the monkey off, you know, then everybody goes, where's the monkey? You know?
right.
See,
Exactly.
I can turn the monkey off, put him away, and he's gone, you know,
Yeah. Everybody expects me to come on a live show and do something like that.
or bring the monkey back.
But, and I've got, see, that's part of my trademark too. Yeah. We each got a trademark, and, people are like, where is that?
Yeah.
But
Anyway,
go ahead,
I'm sorry.
Mike.
I'm going to head out in a couple of minutes myself.
Yeah.
It's 10 o'clock here, 10:15, and
Wow, is it that? Yeah, it is, isn't it? Oh,
yeah,
man.
and we're on the East Coast here, and but I was hoping because I know Roger comes on at 10, but
Right.
it's too late for me to hop on. I'm starting my wind down.
Canadian Roger,
Yeah.
Canadian drone.
Yeah,
Is he going to be on tonight too? Oh, okay.
yeah, it's starting at 10, but he'll probably be on until midnight.
Oh, I don't think I'm going to make it till midnight. We've been on for 3 hours and 15 minutes already.
I'm about ready to head out as well, Mitch. So
Well,
Yeah.
I've had a request, and before you guys leave,
Yeah,
you have to
I see
hear
your
something.
request. All right, Lloyd. Go ahead. Okay. I so you knew. There you go, Mars. That's for you. Oh, okay, Lloyd. Enough. We don't want to. We don't want to delve down too deep in the.
But that's
Now
for,
we have to leave.
well, you know, you don't have to leave, but yeah, it's
oh,
Well, you know what, guys? I'll tell you what. You know, it's Roger's on, counts dwindling down. I'm tired. I feel like going out and just having a cigar and relaxing. So I think it'd probably be a great place to just say
end the
goodnight.
show. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just came on just to because I wanted to know I hadn't abandoned you. I actually I wasn't doing anything, you know, but I wanted you to know that I was going. You know, I appreciated you inviting me on.
Yeah.
Always a
Well,
pleasure. And you know what? It's we got a nice little group of guys. Like I say, it's not so much even a show for or as just a night with the guys, like a poker game. And
Yeah, that's it.
That's what I like best about it. I'd like to bring some other people in who are regulars in the chat. Dennis, you come in anytime you want, and guys like Kiwi, always welcome. Steve Mack, seen you. Love to see some of the other guys become a part of the party. So so guys, anyway, happy New Year to everybody.
New Year.
Whenever your New Year happens to come on the clock tonight, we got an hour and a half. And I had enough coffee that I'll probably be awake. I normally don't drink coffee this late today. So let me say goodnight to you guys one at a time. We'll start with you, Art. You've been here the longest, so we'll first in, first out. Thanks for coming, buddy.
Take care. Happy New Year, man.
Happy New Year to you. And,
Mike, Lloyd, Mitch, and everybody in the chat. It's been a great year. 2020 is going to be even better.
All right, buddy. I made you big, so you keep going if you want. I don't know. Okay. Thanks, Art. Take care, my friend.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And next up will be Mike Roche. Whoops, that's Lloyd. Sorry. That's Mike.
At least it wasn't Mel this time.
Yeah, too many buttons, you know?
Well, hey, it's been a great year, you know, 2019. A year ago this time, I think, you know, as far as subscribers go, about 37. Now I have like 415. And I haven't even tried to do anything. You know, I don't do live streams and stuff, but I like to be a guest. And so, you know, I've gotten some people to actually watch my stuff, which is nice. You know, why make it if no one's going to watch it? And but made a lot of friends. You know, all the you, Mitch, and guys like Spike, Lloyd, all the Aussies down there, Mars, Peter Carroll, and then, you know, Dennis, Philly, Mike. I mean, you go on and on with a bunch of people that I enjoy, and looking forward to 2020. Hoping it's going to be a good year, and you know, I hope everybody it has a good one. You know, this I can't believe it. It sounds weird to even say 2020. It was always the future, and it's here in an hour and so, and that's crazy. So, but anyway, happy New Year, everybody. I know it's just another day tomorrow, but you know, thanks for having me on, Mitch, and I look forward
You're
to
welcome.
more stuff. And you guys have a good night, and you know, let's make it a good year.
All right, buddy. Thanks for coming in. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year, Mike.
You too.
See you next
Bye, everybody
week.
in the chat. You know, I can't say everybody, but have a good one, everyone.
Take care, Mike.
Yeah, I'm check out.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And Lloyd, just you and me left. And
Well, I appreciate the short time I got to come on, and you know how I feel about these guys out here, especially like the Aussies and Dennis Lovelady. And I named off my people of the year last night, and I didn't cover half of them. And, you know, all of you guys that have participated in my show or have been, you know, watched my vlogs. And I mean, good God, you're listening to some old fart ramble on about driving around town getting some chicken dinner. You know, really? I got 723 this morning, I think is what I'm at. And, yeah, okay, I haven't made it to 1,000. Big whoop. I will make it there. And the thing is, I've made so many more friends than I can even count. And it's, Mitch, you're one of those that I count among my friends, and everybody in the chat. I can't get around to everybody anymore. I just can't get around to all of them because there's so many of them.
I call them the usual suspects.
That's right. Yeah.
30 or 40 guys. There's about 30 or 40 guys.
Yep.
That I just call them the usual suspects, and we seem to have we could all just name them off. So no, it's good. It's good.
Nice. With that, I'm going to wish everybody a happy New Year's. Treat each other the way you want to be treated, and be nice to each other. It's a new year, a new decade, and maybe a new life. Y'all take care. I'm out of here. Bye-bye for now.
Okay, look. Take care, buddy.
Yep.
And that just leaves me. And you know what that means. Time to say goodnight. Check out the chat. Steve, Mac, Mars, Craig, Dennis, Timeless Truths, Arizona Drone Pilot, Peter Carroll, if you're still here. And I think that about covers everybody that's still here. Says I got 8 people left, and I just named off more than 8 names. Lloyd, thanks for coming in. Thanks for coming on to this impromptu thing at the last minute tonight and sharing New Year's with me and Spank, the monkey. With that, I'm going to say goodnight, and I'm going to go out on my porch because it's still probably 65 degrees. We had a little cooler day today, and bring in the new year with a nice relaxing cigar. And if I had them to spread around, I'd give each one of you. So let me bring up a little music here. There it is. And say goodnight to my sidekick. Good night, Spank. Say goodnight to everybody.